hello. We're
Hi.
ranking villains from Final Fantasy XIV. So we're gonna stop this song. I think these are sorted correctly from left to right. I think we start around Reborn and then go all the way to the end, I think.
Yes.
All right. Let's just jump into it then. Well, since the YouTube video
you
starts
need to
here.
decide on what... You need to come up with some ground rules, I think.
Some ground rules. Okay, so how are we gonna rank them? Yeah, how
This
do
is
we...
on. This is a list of villains.
Mm-hmm.
But are we
So
ranking them as just
backstory
villains,
must
or are
be
we
on
ranking
them.
them as characters?
Yeah, but as villains.
That's how you're... I don't know if that's what I agree with.
What?
Overkill.
So you can include redemption within your ranking, because we have to be very clear on what we're ranking them on, otherwise it won't work out.
Yes.
If I'm going to give you an example, I think Nero is one of the greatest characters in the game. Post when he joins us and throughout the whole section, but I think he's a relatively mid villain within A Realm Reborn.
Mm-hmm.
I do agree with that.
So do
This
I
is a
rank him on
villain
just the A
rank
Realm
list.
Reborn part?
So villain has
and
to
therefore
be...
I'd put him in the mid, or do I rank him as a whole character, including?
No, I think you're correct. Actually, I think you're actually correct, Melo. I think we should rank them as how they work as antagonists.
Yeah.
Okay. As long as we're going with
The
as long as
redemption
we're
arc
fine.
should not play as big of a part in this, but their character as villains has to their backstory, fight if there is one. I think all of these have a fight, right? I think we fight all of... No,
For
we
the
don't.
most
Not
part.
Lolorito, not Teledji.
Most though.
But they're the
I
exception.
don't know. I thought we were only talking about the story. I wouldn't have included the fight at all.
Okay, well, okay. We don't have to include the fight, but almost all except for 2 we fight at some point, I think. But okay, backstory. That's all we do.
Valens.
We need to make this clear now, so that we don't
Yeah.
start
No, I
fucking
agree.
around.
Backstory, threat, like how they felt as a threat. Roller, you're muted.
Oh,
I am sorry. I was gonna say if they fill their role as a villain, and they have an engaging story to go along with that, or not, I think that's pretty easy to go on. Like,
Yeah.
Asahi was cool. He did his thing. He sucks. I don't like him, but he's a villain character.
Yeah. It's not about how much you like them, because sometimes the best villains are the ones you hate the most, like Joffrey, for example.
Yes, right. And
There's
so
something that I've noticed that I don't like, but I won't point it out.
what?
I
Point
knew
it
you'd
out
ask.
then. You said it.
I like that for some you use their full title, but some, like Nero and Gaius, you only wrote their first
Well,
name.
I made those first, and I was like, I'm not gonna bother. And then I'm like, I'll bother, but I'm not going back and fix it.
Okay then.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to know.
Okay, so are we okay? So I guess we'll figure it out as we go. Good villain S, bad villain F, and by bad we mean like not engaging, don't care.
Not a very good.
They weren't a bit of a. They weren't a threat.
Jobber.
Yeah.
They can be a threat, but like they just like it's possible that like
Weak threat,
it doesn't
I guess.
feel good at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, well let's start off. This will set, I
Like-
guess, the bar. Yeah.
My argument would be like a meteor is a threat, but
Yes.
there's no agency behind it.
Right. Okay. Let's start with Nero.
Love him.
I do love Nero as a character.
Yeah.
I just don't know if he's necessarily a strong villain.
He's not.
His first appearance is relatively cool. How he discovers the spy and essentially like kills them in front of the army that's there.
Yeah.
I liked I enjoyed when the gang went around in their cool Garlean armor in A Realm Reborn. I was like, oh, that's cool armor.
Oh yeah.
But he doesn't do a huge amount himself, and then then he gets to just fight him in the Praetorium, and that's kind of it.
Well,
I like him because he's pitiful. Like he's just like a little sniveling worm kind of thing. He's like, fucking Sid is just so much better. Fucking hate. Like I like those kind of characters. I think they're pretty enjoyable as villains. And then the build up from that too is nice. Like after, but whatever. So I'd say he's like a solid B. Not too much airtime. Pretty kind of simple.
That's higher than I
feel like Nero feels like more of like. He barely feels like a villain. Like he's more like just a grunt. Like he's like Gaius.
He's a jobber.
Dog.
He's like a guy who's just kind of there to lose. But that's what I kind of like. He's pathetic.
I think the best part of that comes out later, though. I think.
Yeah, I don't. He's just he is very pitiable. So as a result, I don't find him very threatening. Even though he does, as I brought up, he has a cool start. But other than that.
Yeah.
As a villain.
Yes. He looks cool in his armor. He has got a big fucking like hammer.
But he sucks.
But he sucks. He just comes up like whiny.
Yeah, he's like Dr. Robotnik.
Yeah.
He's powerful when he's got like his tools, and then once you beat him, he runs away crying.
Yeah, he's not like amazing, but like he fills that role of pathetic guy, reply guy, I guess.
Well,
he's pretty baseline for me.
So you would put him on B.
Yeah.
I put him on C or D.
No, I see him. I think he's very just standard.
Yeah, I think he's a D. I don't see because he gets so good after, but that's when he stops being a villain. So it doesn't count. Oh.
I'm leaning towards D.
1B, 1C, 2 Ds.
I think that averages out to it.
Ooh.
I don't know how the system works. You can put him at D if you want.
You can put him in either. Yeah. I'd still say he's a B, but if you want to put him in C or D, I'm not going to object.
Double
Ds?
Double D.
You know, got an extra point for them.
All right.
We can always change it later, too.
Yeah, we can,
Yeah, exactly.
True.
Gaius van Belsar.
See, he's the real villain of A Realm Reborn for me. And he felt like a threat, and a lot of his backstory is the best part.
Yeah. Can you talk about his role in a 1.0 Lakil?
Yeah, he comes in like at the end half of 1.0. He commands the 14th Legion. Yeah, he's strong in 1.0. Like he's a very. I don't think we never fight him. We fight Nael. I mean, in 1.0, we'll talk about Nael later, but Nael is the main villain to begin with, and then Gaius sort of joins Nael.
I mean, Nael's actions are what result in Meteor Project happening.
Yeah. He is very. Gaius is presented as very cool in 1.0.
Oh yeah, he has presence.
Yes,
he does.
He does have presence. I will say I've never liked his helmet.
No, I don't like his like little.
I think
little,
it's cool.
Like,
it's very 12.
Bits.
I like it.
Yeah, I don't like that it has sort of fake earrings.
Yes, that's my least favorite part.
I kind of wish they had more of this for the Garleans, more of like the weirder 12-ish armor. I feel like after A Realm Reborn, they toned that back like a lot.
Yeah, even some of the ones we met that were high up ranking officials later on didn't have this like power armor. I don't know why.
Varis,
I guess they.
Zenos and Varis both actually do have that. We just don't ever fight them when they're wearing the helmet.
No,
that's true.
I remember the dude with the power symbol on his helmet that we saw for like 2 seconds, and I don't remember his name. Do you remember who I'm talking about?
From where?
Regular Van Hydrus?
Yes, him.
Oh, yeah. See,
Regular was fucking awesome.
He had that shit on.
He had that.
Actually, Regular should maybe actually have been on this list.
Regular should be on this list. It's the one that I didn't remember it when making the list
because he was so
my
forgettable.
Favorite Guardian because he had the Cyclops eye. I think his arm was the best one.
Yeah.
Gaius, I think a lot of his backstory, like building Hadrian's Wall and basically like leading the invasion on Eorzea. I think, and every time we kind of encounter him or he's kind of like we're spying on the stuff he's doing. He felt like a huge threat.
Mm.
Like the Guardian Empire felt like a really big threat in A Realm Reborn, and it was mostly because of him. I definitely rate him quite highly as a villain.
I think some of the changes to his backstory and motivations, like later on, like in the weapons questline, kind of brings down his A Realm Reborn presence like a little bit.
Yeah. But you could argue
still
that,
like him.
that's still part of his redemption arc, though, which we should be ignoring. We should
Well,
ignore
that
you
is
ignore
part
that.
of his, that's part of his character. Like that's technically happened beforehand. It's from
but
when
we
he was
don't
still a
learn it
villain.
until his redemption arc. Should we still?
Yeah, but I would still include it though because it's something that's technically a part of his character that defines his character beforehand.
You can absolutely undermine a villain if you write them poorly later on.
I guess.
Yeah, I agree.
From the earlier instance, so that can definitely be accounted. So I would say I wouldn't go higher than A for him.
I mean, he's so iconic. Like we quote him constantly.
He's iconic.
He's like the
issue is I
biggest
find him
meme.
kind. He is a meme, but I don't think that necessarily makes a good villain. I mean, I'm not going to put him any lower than
villain in my book.
I'm not going to put him any lower than B. I'll say, but he just feels very vanilla compared to some of the villains that come later to me.
But he established a lot, like as in terms of like quality for villains, I would say.
Yeah.
So he's still one of the earliest. He's definitely a bit more basic, especially in his like when you're just meeting him and you don't get the fleshed out stuff till later. But I think he fit his role really well in the story. He has like the last minute, betrayal by the Ascian. That's like a fun bit too. Makes it a bit more. I don't want to say tragic exactly, because it's still kind of weird motivations there, but
to his like beliefs, I think his like the fact that he has a very strong motivation for what he's not just here to eradicate Eorzeans for fun. He has some goals in Eorzea. He doesn't. He's getting rid of the primals. He's also pushing Garlemald's domain. But like I think he's a really interesting character, and I think he has only ever been expanded upon positively. I think he's a really strong villain. I think also a lot of the people who come after him, who you may find more unique, maybe owe a little bit of themselves to him as well anyway. He's kind of such a progenitor villain for this series.
Yeah, I mean, Gaius feels like he genuinely thinks what he's doing is the right thing. Which is scary.
He thinks we're under the yoke of magic and primals and this and that, and he has such strong motivation for it, and that's really I like that.
Always good when you can kind of see it through his point of view and mostly get why he's doing. With Guy, it's not exactly perfect, I would say. I would still kind of question it from his perspective, but for the most part, you can understand why he's doing what he's doing.
Plus, obviously the pressure from above.
Yes, he's very loyal.
I also think some of the fact that he was undermined by Lahabrea, taking overusing with the Ultima weapon, I think takes away from some of his authority as well. To me,
I think that I get that, but it makes him very human.
Yeah.
And and we can see even he can fall.
It makes him feel more complex because you're like, okay, well, he was fucked with. Like he's fucked with in multiple levels. He's brainwashed by his superiors, and then he's getting fucked by like this Ascian as well. Like it's just all going wrong for this man.
And then obviously the Rollo talks about the background motivations as well, which at least add to his complexities.
Yeah.
I think all in all, I'd probably pop him an A.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
it's a B for me, but I think it's going to be A.
Yeah, I'm going to go A too. I think
so he's going
to be there. Yeah. All right. Next we have Lahabrea.
Now, I think Lahabrea has the opposite going on from Gaius, where he's the weakest part of A Realm Reborn. I think he is just kind of like, I'm the Joker. I'm fucked up. I'm doing bad shit. I'm killing people and I'm gonna blow up the planet or whatever.
Yeah.
And then later on, when they figure out what Asians are in the story and what their backstory is,
Yeah.
and they flush it out with Pandemonium, he's a lot better. Way better.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. Like, I know you were, because he's in the Realm Reborn section, because I think that's when he's the most prominent as a villain. He is not as well fleshed out as some of the other villains that we have at this point in the game. But the issue is that he's technically still a villain every time he appears.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we are allowed to take his whole arc in.
I think I'll never forgive them for the Thancred thing.
Dude,
Because that could have been such a good plot point,
I think
and
that's,
they just fucked it up.
I think, yeah, I agree with that. That they resolved it too quickly. But that, I think, is one of the coolest things in A Realm Reborn, is that when he's wearing
really
the necklace, he is under the influence of Lahabrea, and you don't know that until the end. And then it actually gives replayability to the MSQ, so you can go back and go, oh, he's wearing it!
I think it's also cool because for 1.0 players, Thancred was an ally. He was never a villain.
Right.
So, like,
yeah,
it feels more like it would be like if they like turned, like, I don't know, I wouldn't say Asinian because he technically was for a period of time. Like maybe if they like turned Y'shtola into, it was like possessed for an arc.
Yeah,
that'd be crazy.
Yeah,
it was really cool. But I think just when
but he didn't
really resolve in a very good way. It was like, oh, that was really cool, and then it kind of
Lahabrea felt like a pop-up villain sometimes.
A lot of the time.
Yeah.
I really liked the Asians in A Realm Reborn. Now I found them so mysterious and unique. The Enshittening was when they all were just ancients, really. They got very boring, but like the Asians themselves were really cool.
I don't agree with that, but also. Lahabrea suffers from the same thing that I think Gaius suffers from in Realm Reborn, in terms of he gets outplayed by Thordan in Heavensward.
Oh yeah,
that's true.
It's not a bad thing for
that's a plus for Thordan, yeah, big fat W for him.
It's plus for Thordan, it's kind of a negative for me personally.
I suppose in a way you're right, like the ultimate villain should never be outsmarted because they're always one step ahead, but
he's not really built as the ultimate villain, though. He's part of an organization that is the ultimate villain. He's not my
favorite Asian.
Yeah.
And yet he was so prominent early on.
Yeah, he was the Asian in A Realm Reborn, for sure.
He was, but the most interesting was Elidibus for me.
Yeah.
He was the Asian in A Realm Reborn, but there's actually quite a lot of Asians in A Realm Reborn, when you think about it.
Yeah. It was the time when they were the most, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It felt like.
We started to focus down on them later on.
Yeah. There were loads of, like, when it did those scenes where they were in their weird convocation meetings.
Yeah.
There were hundreds. There were all of them where they were still hanging out. It's like, where did they all go?
Honestly, if it was just A Realm Reborn, he'd probably be in D for me. But finding out he's a wife guy in Pandemonium, I'd say B.
B for wife?
Yeah, I think he's a B for me overall. It's not just the wife guy part, but also just like seeing his descent into madness. Like, because he feels very static when we first meet him because he's already mad. He's lost his sense of self essentially, other than his goal. Whereas, like, to see how he gets that way really improves his character for me.
They really recontextualize his boring villainness, I think, from the earlier parts in a good way.
And even when we last talked to Lahabrea in the Ethereal Sea, when he's technically our ally, like, he even like acknowledges that he can see how he becomes the Asian that we described to him. So I think that adds to his character. I would put him at B personally.
Pandemonium brings him up quite a bit. I think, and that's not a bad storytelling device. It's fun to think this character was a bit shit, and then later on be like, do you know what? I get it now.
They did the same thing with Elidibus.
Exactly.
They redeem the early villains that didn't necessarily have the depth that we wanted them to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind that as a con.
I think B. I mean, if this was only A Realm Reborn, I think I'd be with Rollo D. Maybe I would even like.
He was.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
He was not very good in A Realm Reborn, but B for bread.
Elidibus is on the list.
Elidibus is on the list. Is later.
Yeah.
I listed them by where I think they were most prominently a villain. That's why Lahabrea is in A Realm Reborn and not in, like, what's it called? Endwalker.
Endwalker. Even though he was a villain in Pandemonium, he wasn't like prominent in the story. Whereas this was.
This is cropped weird now.
Oh.
God, why is this website so weird now?
Well, they'll show up as we remove them.
Yeah.
They'll show up as we remove
see it.
characters.
Yeah.
Don't worry,
It'll always be the
Elidibus is
top
there.
left one, no matter what.
Yeah. Okay, next is Lolorito, Nanarito.
I mean,
Lolorito.
you can't ignore the elephant in the room. He just didn't. His story didn't finish. There was no real good conclusion to him
It's like
being a
real
villain.
evil business people, Rollo. You can't stop them, and that's what I like about him.
But Lolorito was the good one, wasn't he? He was the mastermind.
Yeah, exactly.
whereas
That's what makes him more
Yeah.
evil. Teledji
it's so
is
difficult to remember between the two because they got such Lalithal names. But
Teledji worked fine in his context because it was just in A Realm Reborn. But Heaven's Word makes Lolorito fucking suck. F. Nothing. I cannot go higher.
I think Lolorito masterminding such an important thing was very interesting, but then, like you say, forgive and forget for some reason for ages.
Well,
I know he's powerful, but it's a little, it's a little sus. And then the weird meeting later on.
Yeah, Lolorito.
with Nanamo you're talking about.
You win Nanamo. That was quite tense, and I was hoping more would come. It was
I mean, look at the seething that he's causing in all of you.
He honestly, I didn't. I think he's a good schemer.
Yeah.
I don't think I Lolorito either.
Yeah, it's not him I'm seething at. It's the writers of the game I'm seething at.
Yeah.
I do agree because
What do you
he
want,
fizzled
Rollo?
out. He fizzled out.
he did fizzle out. He should have been the patch cycle. Should have done more for him because we were on the run, we were on the lam. We went to Ishgard. The whole story happened.
Yeah.
And then it's expansions later, and Nanamo's like, oh yes, he wasn't very nice, was he? Oh, it's going to be so tense meeting him again.
He is more of an opportunist than a villain, I'll say that much.
He was the cornerstone of the intro to Heavensward.
Yeah, it was.
That the fall cutscene,
Yeah,
all the build up to that.
The spoiler cut.
We've seethed at this so many times.
Yeah.
already.
Yeah. Again, it's not even him. It's the writers. It's a missed opportunity that fizzled into nothingness.
I'm very conflicted because I think he was conceptually was quite good, but because of the huge time difference between when it actually happened and when they attempted to resolve it,
Yeah.
I think that was a poor choice. It's I don't really know where to place him.
One of the most disappointing story bits in the game because of him. F. Absolutely.
C.
I'd probably go for a D, maybe an E, but I think I don't. It's so hard.
Yeah.
No, D.
I don't know because
I don't know.
he technically did. He is. I mean, it's classic villain shit, but
He gets exactly what he wants,
Yeah.
and he's still there.
He wins.
Because he managed to use other people who we'll talk about shortly
Yeah.
to get what he wanted. That's what's good about him, because he's such a high level mastermind in it. He uses so many other people and they get the blame. They're the ones who are punished.
Yeah.
But we all know it's him. He says it's him, basically. It all worked. I do agree there should have been more later on, what the hell, Lolorito.
I mean, that.
But you know what?
He could have been
does it well.
a great villain in the Heavensward B plot because I expected it to be Heavensward.
I agree with you on that.
Ulda B plot, right? But that never happened. So
Yeah, there's no gravitas to it. Well,
Exactly.
we get justification for it, but it's just kind of haphazardly thrown to it was actually this.
Yeah.
Sure, whatever his motivations were, whatever they justified to, the writers did justify it. Sure, whatever. He got his way, he did his thing, but it still sucked. I don't think it was good writing. I don't think that makes him a good villain.
The fact that he's
There could have been a big monetarist uprising or something, or more threat later on.
Yeah, that didn't happen. Okay, so
Well, see, the thing is that he wants the status quo. He has no desire
That's
in
true,
changing
yeah.
the system.
No.
Well,
He
he's not-
basically just said
he's
to
not
Nano,
Teledji.
look what I'm,
Well, he wanted-
look what I'm capable of.
Yeah. Yeah. When we get to Teledji, it'll be
I
interesting.
mean, it was a
as well.
power grab. It wasn't a stat. It was a power grab.
Well, no, because-
it was supposed to be a power grab.
No,
Changed in
Teledji
Heaven's
wanted a
Word.
power.
Yeah.
Teledji
That's
wanted
the
a power
difference.
grab.
Teledji was
Lolor-
manipulated into doing this because that's what his motivation was. But Lolorito just wanted to keep things as him in power, essentially. Well, not power. But
He wanted the
him in a
syndicate
position
to
of
stay
power.
in power.
Yeah.
That's the part they write in Heaven's Word about.
Yes. Yes.
Which is what makes it
Bad.
suck.
Yeah, I agree. I
Like,
agree.
again, that can be his justification, but like this guy was a CG trailer villain.
Mhm.
You know, that's a big thing to just
Yeah.
That's
end up
great.
being nothing.
But
It's
unfortunately,
very disappointing.
I mean, if
That's
we're gonna
the
take
commitment.
Gaius' backstory into consideration as well, I mean, we have to bring in Lolorito's
oh yeah, I think it's bad
justification,
backstory.
even if that came after. Yeah.
Why do you think it's a bad backstory?
It's really lame and
I
just
think it's
makes him into nothing.
I agree with that. I agree with the because it doesn't make sense. Like all of the shit he's doing, he has so much power. Why did he? It's just. I
And
don't
it's such a build up to it.
know. Yeah.
To
I don't
nothing.
know. I think he's okay because his like their rivalry.
Yeah.
The thing is, these two characters
It
are
is
completely
interesting.
intertwined. It's weird to have to talk about just Lolorito.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
the fact that it's basically it was a game of chess and he won.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes. So now
And
we're
that's
quite
why he gets the
definitively.
D spot and Teledji will not.
which is
get
quite
that
annoying because now we're supposed to look at Lolorito as like not a villain at the end, but like kind of like a hero for saving the Sultana in this like weird plot. that
I
he,
don't
like,
think we're supposed to
manipulated.
think he's a hero.
He's mine.
I just
No, I
think
didn't say he was
He's
a weird.
He's the enemy of our enemy.
He is
Yeah.
still on the syndicate. He was not
Yeah.
charged with treason for poisoning the Sultana.
Because he didn't poison the Sultana.
He did. He made her fall asleep. Like he put like a super drug. He drugged the Sultana,
Yeah, but that's because the alternative was to have her poisoned.
or maybe tell his Sultana. Maybe work with her to stop the plot.
He probably but we were
it's-
meddling. Maybe he wanted us out of the picture as well. Like he
What-
just wants things to remain the same.
What weakens him because it's just a very obvious pivot from his original, like the original intention they were going for, what they were building up to, where it's just all of a sudden changed to be something like, actually he was like sort of working with us just to keep the status quo.
Yeah. I mean, okay, I don't really. We've had this fucking conversation, and the arguments are all the same. I'm so tired of this discussion. But what bothers me even more is that it completely collapses the whole like storyline that they've been building up for a few patches about Nanama
Yeah.
wanting to step down.
Oh yeah.
Completely collapses, like, and is not really. They touch on it a couple more times. She does that whole like crying scene with Rauban, like I don't remember when that happens, but it happens at some point.
4.1.
Yeah, there you go. But other than that, that just falls flat and
Yeah,
doesn't really go anywhere.
Even if you enjoy like the addition to his like backstory and intentions in Heavensward, it still undermines the rest of the arc of the story,
Yeah.
which I don't think makes him a good villain
No.
at all.
No.
I mean, I mean,
But what's interesting is that the like Lolorito's plan actually created a couple of other villains that we are also going to
yeah.
rate. So rank. So
Well, that
let's
happened.
let's put Lolorito somewhere. So 1C,
I'm D'ing him.
D, Rollo E.
F.
No, Roller
Oh,
said
you're
F.
effing him.
Yeah, I think he's the most disappointing.
You're such a
Well,
refugee
I am
supporter.
tempted to join you on not F.
Like, if you
Maybe
look at
E.
all these villains on here, there's got to be one that's the most disappointing, the most like not properly used in the story.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at all of them,
Oh, I can tell you. I can
Yeah.
tell you who that is. It's not
Yeah.
Lolorito.
Blue hand turns into a bird.
Oh well, no, that's not who I was thinking of.
That's no, especially with his original arc or the original arc of the story he was part of. Absolute failure of a story.
Yeah, I
You
That's
see
fine for you.
think
but
it-
he's a C for me.
where this is going to go in terms of some of these later characters.
I can't. I mean, is he on par with Nero though?
No, absolutely not.
No, you can.
Rollo has F'd, which means
Bearing it. This is
Mela
where
has
it gets
D.
tough though, because in my head, like I remember where I would have put Nero, so he's fine in a D. It's all very complicated ranking these. That's why I don't.
I think
He's
he
lower
is...
than Nero, but I don't know if he's a full tier lower.
Like Nero's a jobber, you know. He does what he does. He's just born to kind of be a loser in that story.
Lolorito's the mastermind.
Well,
even if he wasn't very good at it, he is he's a
I mean,
higher
if you look at-
brain power.
I mean, if you look at my rankings, I prefer Lolorito as a villain to Nero. I gave Nero a D.
I'm gonna...
If you need to get chat involved between a D and an E, go for it.
Yeah, I mean,
And then you wash your hands.
it depends on what are you between, Lakil?
I'm between D and E. I think...
If it's between D and E, then it's going to average to D regardless.
So 1 E, 1 F, 1 C, 1 D, 1 E, and 1 F.
We
No,
always
that's
go up.
between
in the
D and E.
finals.
But there's clearly
We
more
always go
weight
up.
on the low than on the high.
That's just never been an argument we've made before.
So,
Oh, I don't know if it should be equally weighted.
yeah, but how is this... Oh, because 1 D, 1... But there's 2 down and 1 up from D. Wait, hold on, my brain doesn't work. So D.
I think Georgi says in the past, if there's like a tie between two rankings, we go up rather than down.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, right.
But what are you?
So if it's
What are you
C, D,
picking?
and F,
Are you picking A? Oh,
well,
yeah.
then it goes up to D. Unless he gives it an F, it's
And
going to
then it would
average
go down
to
to
D.
E.
Okay. D it is. Teledji
Yeah, we can
Adeledji.
move them later on. See, he's the shit one because all he did was try and fuck around with Lolorito and found out what happens and then got his head chopped off or whatever. He was a nothing.
Very funny end though. I gotta
He's
give him
got a very
props.
funny death, but I don't think he's a good villain.
He's a shit villain. For me, he's the F.
I mean, I think he works the context of his story because he's not in Heaven's Word, so he doesn't have a chance to get ruined
No.
with Lolorito.
He completes his plan. Like, well, he gets killed.
He does, but I don't think I feel
Yeah,
like
but he doesn't succeed.
No.
That doesn't mean he's a bad villain if he doesn't succeed.
No.
A lot of them don't succeed.
No, that's true.
Well,
Yeah, but
not- none of them. do.
No, but I just think in comparison to who he's a direct comparison to, I think he's just not as good.
I'd give him a C.
What?
I give him.
Oh, immediately.
I
the
think that's
scores.
crazy as
We're
well,
not going to
man.
deliberate anymore on why we're giving scores.
I mean, we've talked about Teledji a lot in regards to
What is
talking about
Teledji's
Lolorito.
goal?
Like, what more is there to
What is his
say
goal?
about
To
him?
fuck with Lolorito. All
No.
he does is say Ugiri and the Domans can come here because Lolorito opposed it,
Yeah.
and then he tries to incite
He's sowing
a
seeds
revolution.
of chaos in Ul'dah because he wants
Well,
a
he's doing a
revolution.
power
For what
grab too.
purpose?
He
'Cause
actually wants
be
to
in
kill
power.
the Sultana. He wants
Yeah.
to end the monarchy.
Yes,
And
he does.
fails.
Yes.
And
he's-
all he does is
Well, everyone,
make
like you said,
the
Mela,
Sultana's
everyone
position
fails.
More strong.
All of these
They
villains
do,
fail.
but I think the outcome of his goal.
Alexander
is that the
doesn't
Sultana's-
fail.
Alexander's very special. That's true. Alexander doesn't fail.
He's boring. Teledji was boring. He was some stupid little Lalafell. You can never think a Lalafell's a good villain anyway, but he was the shittest of the lot.
It's not. Yeah, well, I guess it is their fault. They can't write good Lalafell's villains.
They can't.
No, for some
The
reason.
best Lalafell they've ever written, maybe, is that fucker in Costa del Sol, but I still don't take him that seriously.
Mm.
I mean, he's not really a villain.
No, I know, but he's like he's an
Rich.
asshole.
I think he's on par with like Nero. I think he's all right. He does the thing. He's doing what he wants to do, and the motivations make sense. It's a power grab, and he does some extreme measures to get that done, which I think was pretty shocking. And getting cut in half, still pretty funny.
Yeah.
Well, fair. I mean, it's
So Mela gave an F.
Yeah.
What do you gave a C, Rollo?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm between a D and an E myself.
Sounds like a good night at the club.
But he is. Again, I think about like the legacy of him. Like he is very iconic. Like he.
Is he?
I think Lolorito.
Do you remember all the like
the
split
hero.
in half
I think
memes?
Lolorito
Like,
is more. I think Lolorito is
comes
more
out
on
on top.
don't you
Yeah.
remember
But I
when
think
Yotsuyu
Teledji has a
got,
bigger
like,
meme.
cards for like Teledji Adeledji
Yeah, I know.
in 2 parts they had to put together? Like it was funny. It was like a whole bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he turned
That's
into
definitely
a
more
comedy.
so.
You seem to equate memes with iconicness, which I don't
That's
No.
how
necessarily see the same way.
We're online. That's kind of how you measure how good a villain is if the community put like loves them, and that's usually done through memes. Period.
No, they're not
I don't
indications
agree with this
exactly. but I do think they're at least like somewhat related. Like, yeah, I think his time was more so in the Heavensward and Realm Reborn era when those kind of jokes were popular. Because
Yeah.
like no one really
Of course.
talks about Teledji Adeledji now.
No.
Because he
died.
finished, like they finished what yeah.
I appreciate that Lolorito's continued existence causes people to seethe in a way that Teledji Adeledji does not.
Oh, I think you're gonna
think
give
memes
someone
can-
an S then for that.
I think
Well-
memes can exist to disparage people as well. Anyway, I think you can meme
Yeah.
on someone because they were shit.
That's
I don't
also
mean-
true.
It
Yeah,
might
exactly. I
indicate,
agree.
like,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean that they were popular or good. It just means that they were memorable, and that's
Mhm.
fair. He is memorable because he got chopped in half, but
Yeah.
he was a shit villain.
Okay.
He goes where he goes.
I'm gonna
So
go-
it's CF.
I
was a
think
jo-
I'm gonna go with. I think I'm gonna go with E.
He's a jobber that get cuts in half, like Nero, but without getting cut in half.
Nero got crusty. That's better.
He did get crusty, but he was an ally sort of at that time, I guess.
He was.
Minimal.
What is this jobber thing?
yeah,
Well,
something
explain what a
so
jobber
much.
is.
Because there are villain jobbers. Have you never heard that?
He's just doing the job.
No, just like people. Oh fuck! People that are the characters made. They're just fucking losers that don't win. They're just made to be stepped on, in like in the narrative.
Where are you putting it, Lucio? And I used
don't
it
know.
correctly.
I kind of like Teledji more because he didn't get to rot like Lolorito did, like in Heavensward.
Well, if you give him a C or a D, he'll average to a D. If you give him an E or an F, he'll average to an E. So that's.
We should split him in half and put him in 2 ranks. I agree. That's what I think should happen.
There you go.
Well, that would be funny. But...
Edit that in, Lucio.
Yeah. Shit. I feel like he is the same as Lolorito then. Like I think he's better slightly, but not a C. I think Lolorito's
give
an
him a
E,
D.
and I'll give him a D.
Okay, that's fine.
They'll share a spot on D.
Okay. They actually ended up with the same scores, so C, D,
Yeah.
and E and F from each of us respectively.
Mm-hmm. Okay, another
I've
one
got you now.
that was involved. That started his
Stop
villain
it.
arc here.
Hey.
Ilberd.
He
I like Ilberd.
I like
also
Ilberd.
has
Yeah.
presence, similar to Gaius, I think.
He has
Especially-
so much, like, do you remember the shit with Papalymo and Ida, like, infiltrating the Griffin's nest? Like, there was so much build up to him. As
Yeah.
the
Like-
Griffin.
Yeah.
I feel like there was a narrative trade-off. They had to make Lolorito and Teledji Adeledji shit, so Ilberd could be the fucking
That's-
boss.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Because
agree with
the-
that.
The build up here from him being a goodie in the Crystal Braves to the betrayal, which was the Crystal Braves was a fucking great arc, which I feel didn't go far enough, but fine, whatever.
Yeah.
And then he disappears, and then we hear these rumors of the Griffin, and then it
Well, the
fucking
thing
turns
is-
out to be him, and like it was so good.
I mean, I like how he disappears. It's after we free Raoban, he and Yuyahase and Laurentius all just fuck off and
Yeah.
disappear
Yeah.
from the story until 3.4-ish.
That's the
He-
trouble with him. Yuyahase has to go along, and he was
I mean-
shit, but the
I mean-
Ilberd was great.
You talked about villains that don't succeed. Ilberd gets what he wants in the end.
Yeah.
Ilberd gets
Ilberd
exactly what he
succeeds
wants.
fully.
He does.
He has one of the greatest, like, end expansion dungeons. That was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
great cutscene. Remember the cocoon in the sky, and then the Shinryu. Like,
Getting
there was a
he
lot
gets
with
to
him.
maim Raoban, his like old friend
Yes.
too.
Yeah.
You get that cool rivalry.
The
Gets to
ki- yeah,
kill
the kidnap
Papalymo
bit.
too.
Yeah.
Like
That was he did so
He's-
much.
he is. I think he's a little underrated these days because I
I
think the
agree.
biggest shame is
I
that
agree.
he didn't get
He
to be
got
here
memed
longer.
on.
Yeah.
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 Well, he didn't get to be there longer enough when he was in like full villain mode.
Yeah,
but he was around for so many patches.
I think that's why he's so good though, because they cut him off before he had time to get shitty, overused, and weird. He was at his peak.
Or overused. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, he was at his peak, and then he died, and then it was over.
Yeah.
He got what he wanted when he died. That was part of his mission.
Yeah.
And his motivation was so good as well. He wanted his people free.
Mm-hmm.
And he went about it in the wrong way. But again, his motivation was on point. He was, very much Gaius in quality there.
That's
like,
true.
It makes so much sense from his perspective. Like if
if
you were in his position and you had the power to do so, even though it's an extreme action, like I could see someone making, it feels logical, you know?
Yeah.
He has to be S to me.
Oh yeah, also that's true. He
Definitely between S and A.
He did choose his death. We didn't kill him. He did it himself
choose his death
to trigger the thing. So
remember who else chose their death?
Who?
Hey.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll get to him.
I didn't realize how many parallels there were between these characters. By the way.
He completely embodies the Alamegan struggle in Eosu as well. Like when you meet the refugees in the Black Shroud, and they're like Shasson, and then the refugees, they have to live in a camp outside Uldar, and they have little Alamigo. He fully sums up the years of being trodden on, not being able to return home, the frustration of it all, and to take such an extreme actions. It feels very justified when you think about it.
Yeah.
I think I'm with you, Rado. S.
Yeah,
you were going S for Ilberd.
When you think about it, he's really good.
He is a very good
I think
villain.
the little tiny moment too, and this maybe it's I guess part of his villainous, you could say, is when you're in the Ethereal Sea doing the dungeon, and you see his spirit come back for a moment for Papalymo to dispel him.
Yeah.
Which I think that's a cool moment, as like, Papalymo gets some kind of a play in this, aside from sacrificing himself.
Yeah,
I think that adds a little bit to it.
He got rid of the wrong one in the duo of Papalymo, and
I would have been happier if Ilberd was a boss rather than either Livia or Ratata in that dungeon.
I think he was more up there, but
okay. Let's get our scores on then.
I just have such a hard time saying it. I mean, I gave Gaius a B, so I would be fine with giving Ilberd an A. I mean, if I gave it an S, then it's guaranteed an S. Or if you gave him an S, then it'd be guaranteed an S. Actually, even if we both gave him A's, it'd still be S. Well, no, not necessarily, because Lakil could give him a S.
He's an F for me? No.
Cancel him. Racist.
I think... Yeah, I'm not going further down than A anyway, so I think it is a secure S.
No, I'm not going in.
So
I think he's going to be an I think I'll
go S.
For my personal ranking, I think I'll put A, but it doesn't matter because he's going to be an S.
3 S's and 1 A. There we go.
Justice was served today for Ilberd.
Okay, Nael van Darnus. This... I mean, I
liked it when she was sticky.
Which version?
Well, we
the
should...
man or the woman?
We should...
Well, it's specifically... But the one we've dealt with, even in 1.0, is always Eula. It's never Nael.
Yes.
That is true, actually. So Nael van Darnus... No, other than the Meteor Project.
Nael van Darnus in 1.0.
Other than the Meteor Project?
You know, the thing that
but the
game is named after, A Realm Reborn. You know, the creation of the game. The Calamity.
Are we ranking Nael van Darnus the Meteor Project, or Nael van Darnus the villain who actually participates in the story?
The villain,
They're separate people.
The villain...
Nael.
What do you mean? Nael has always been
the one that...
Nael.
Eula. The Project Meteor one is Eula, Mela.
Oh,
Nael died before that.
Yes. They actually get away with that because Nael was never voiced in 1.0.
Right.
You know how they their masks warp your voice and stuff. So,
just full retcon.
No, it's not a retcon. You can say it's a retcon, but there's nothing in the story that indicates that it's not the case.
I believe originally Nael was always supposed to be a woman, but the Japanese
8 women.
The Japanese story writers never told the English story writers that Nael was a woman, so they had to find a reason for why she appeared as a woman when she took off her helmet.
Yeah, that's the actual retcon, not the fact that I keep saying she was a woman. That was always supposed to be the case, but you'll never know playing 1.0 because it's never voiced or anything. So, yeah.
Yes.
So Nael van Darnus, I will say, so for those that didn't play 1.0, I'll just quickly explain. The person in charge of the Meteor Project is essentially a puppet, a thrall at the end of Dalam. It becomes a thrall at some point in the story when they activate the tower, and is the reason why the Bahamut came down, or Dalamud, sorry, and Bahamut as well.
She's basically the reason why the game happened.
Yes, and is the villain in 1.0, and then can you
say she's a villain if she killed 1.0?
I'm not.
That's a good point.
I'm not giving her any points for.
But that's her backstory, which has to count. And so
the backstory is cool. I'm not giving her points for making the game good, Mela. That was a joke.
No,
I'm giving her points for something for causing a calamity.
Yeah, she caused the calamity.
She caused the first non-elemental calamity.
She had a moment, so also responsible for the most epic fight in 1.0, Ribbon Road, where she dies. And she has this weird moment where she reaches out to, there's a moment where she comes back for a second, but yeah, and then around Reborn we meet her again as it's not her. I mean, it's just a reconstruction of her, whatever it is. I don't know what exactly Alphino calls her when he sees her at the. It is her, but it's chat, do you know what it is? It's an illusion. It's not an illusion.
It's hard to explain. No, I know what you're struggling with this, Liquid, because it's
like a memory construct, corrupted spirit, something like that. Because you're inside a fake Riven Road as well at the beginning of the fight. It's like a hologram, and that's essentially all we get of her in A Realm Reborn, but it is also one of the most iconic fights in A Realm Reborn, I should mention as well. Also, there's some cutscenes inside Second Coil where Nael is walking around.
She appears.
Yeah.
It says it's her corrupted spirit was reconstructed to serve as a guardian for the Bahamut or whatever.
Yeah. So once again being pulled back as a thrall, essentially, just the shade of her.
See, I really like Nael for what she does. My main issue with her is that she's very one note in terms of she as we've established, she's a thrall for most of it, so it's not necessarily all of her actions. I think the actions that she brings about really raise her as a character. It's just the fact that she's not that deep is the thing that, for me, stops her from being an S-tier villain, personally.
I think her becoming a thrall is a really engaging part of her, I guess, villainness or arc or whatever, because there's just something so poetic, I guess, about the occupying Imperial force coming, all your gods are fucking stupid. We're gonna blow you up until you're normal, not savages anymore. And then getting tempered.
Yes.
It's just, it's so, and blowing up the place too.
Yeah.
It's very, very good. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I don't think it's S-tier material.
No.
But it's simple. It works. It's good. You know.
I think the issue with Nael is that the majority of the important interactions and such with her is all pre-A Realm Reborn, and then most of what you want to learn about her in A Realm Reborn is just through kind of notes and stuff. And it's a shame in a way because she's so important for such a huge catastrophe, but then also, like you say, that's kind of mostly all she has done, especially from if you're from the perspective of someone who only played from A Realm Reborn onwards.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, she did the meteor.
Yeah, I guess there's not a lot on Nael.
Her early backstory is, a bit more interesting. I think that,
I mean, if I was to sort them by including 1.0, I actually would have put her first on this list. But
that's true.
Yeah.
I started from A Realm Reborn.
I don't know where she ranks.
I think
it's a little one note.
Yeah, I think we have to consider 1.0 basically just backstory, right? Because it is her backstory.
Yeah.
And then A Realm Reborn is, that's...
It did give us a lot of good, set pieces, though, like the ruby weapon fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But, other than
she's
that...
a part of it. Her impact is felt throughout the Bosnia storyline.
That's true as well.
That's true.
Yeah.
She impacted Bosnia, although that had its own set of interesting people involved.
I would put her. I give her an A.
Oh, okay. A?
I really like Nael.
Solid B for me.
Okay. Mela?
Yeah, I'm leaning towards a B.
I mean, if we're going to talk about
feels-
iconic, Nael, again, is up there in,
she is
icon
up there.
level.
She does have
more iconic for you as a 1.0
Oh, yeah, probably.
player.
I am biased here. obviously.
Oh yeah, probably. But I mean, I'm not a 1.0 player, and
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you can still appreciate Nael if you didn't play 1.0.
She does have presence, not as strong as Gaius, I would say personally, but something about that 1.0 Garland armor just
Yeah.
It's so good, isn't
It's
it?
so
I
over
wish
the top.
I prefer Nael's armor to Gaius's. I'll
I
say
prefer
that much.
her armor.
Yeah, yeah.
I do like the contrast of the black wolf and the white raven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's got a cool...
I love all their armor, though.
Yeah.
I'll
think
never not love their
she's
armor.
I think she's below Gaius personally in terms of how much I like them.
Same.
Also, Georgi, the armor is the same. It's just a different color, a different helmet. It's not that different from Gaius's.
The helmet is everything. I mean, the helmet
The
is
helmet
most
is the main
iconic
part.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's that different, but...
What do you mean? No, it's not that. We can see the picture, Rollo. She has
I'm
big,
looking
big, down, droopy ears. While
I
Gaius
know,
has weird earring.
he has
ears.
bull horns,
Yeah.
and she has. I don't know.
She's got wings
right,
or some shit.
Man, isn't
The chest
he's
piece.
supposedly the black wolf?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are you
They're like
comparing him to a
twinsies.
bull?
Because they looks like bull horns. What do you want me to say?
But she's got her helmet is crazy. If you actually look at her helmet close up, she's got a lot of shit going on in there.
It should have been ovaries like that one lady in 12.
Who?
Yeah, I know which one. Yeah.
Because she's a woman.
Weird. Yeah.
Duh.
Which character was that?
If you look that up, Mela. As I said, I'm giving
I
her
don't know
an
how
A.
to look that up.
Rollo gave her a B. What did you give her, Mela?
Judge
I think you
Drace,
gave her a
Mela,
B.
look that up.
B. Judge Trace.
So you can control whether she gets an A or a B. Look,
I have every time we do this list, I work as hard as I can not to give bonus points because of 1.0. I've worked. I don't want people to go. Of course, you give 1.0. So I always go one down, but I refuse this time. I'm giving Nael an A.
Good.
I think that's fine too.
This is my one time to be biased. Okay. Moving on then. Ysale. How do we...
Interesting character because she's probably spends more time as a protagonist than an
Very
antagonist.
minimal
Yes.
villain. Also, I don't know. I feel like the dragon blood cult thing.
The heretics.
The heretics, yeah. I feel like, as cool as they were, I don't think I don't think she ever really felt like a leader that much, because all we do is rush in, see her, fight, best friends.
We're not best friends.
No.
Bezzy
Majority
makes
of Heavensward is a
drop.
very
like
cool relationship. Not
the
a.
coolest part.
Yeah, you
about
can probably
this
switch to
is-
the Heavensward music now.
Oh yeah,
Which one?
the cool part about Ysale is mostly the lore about Saint Shiva, and which is not her character. All the
Heroes
stuff with
would count.
Race Felger and Shiva is cool, but Ysale herself doesn't
But
do a
she
huge
thinks
amount.
it, which I think
She
adds
does.
to it too.
She goes a bit delulu, which is fine.
I like
but-
that she's delusional.
Mhm.
That's one of the good things about her. But I
Yeah,
don't know if that's
but some
necessarily
people do
just
that
an aspect
better.
of. That's fair.
So did you say
She's
heroes?
looking at me right now. The one who's doing it better is looking at
Yeah,
me right
heroes.
Yeah.
The Thordan fight team.
Yeah.
now. I don't know. I feel like her villain arc's very short-lived and doesn't have much of an impact. It's it's not a big enough threat or anything.
I agree with you, Mela. I think she's a much better protagonist than an antagonist, which kind of prevents me from ranking her very highly as a villain.
Yeah.
I'm not giving her much.
I was questioning whether to even include her on this. The only reason I did is because she's a massive character still.
Yeah.
She is, yeah.
I mean, you gotta admit though, her being a primal or turning into one, insane premise for the time.
That's true.
It was
That
a
was-
very
yeah,
impactful thing to be like, this is a primal that it has its own free will, sort of, whatever.
Yeah.
It's a very
That
big
was good.
reveal and very I think adds to her for sure for being the first.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
didn't really. I felt like there should have been a little bit more of an impact on her as a person for doing that. She kind of
Hold
got
on.
off
Yeah, we sort of
scot-free.
we kind of just forgive her. We forgive her pretty easily for what she's done.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to affect her ether or her how she looks or anything really. We just cool, you were a massive horrible primal and we defeat him.
Yeah.
Well, she can start something in it whenever she wants. Not whenever when she
That's
wants.
true.
But she does it quite frequently, even as an ally.
I don't
Sounds
know,
like she needed more time.
She
Yeah.
really did. That's the
And
trouble.
they cut her down very quickly.
But again, that.
Well, no,
she
the
needs more
issue
time
is
as
that
an
by
ally
the
as
point
well.
by the point she was cut down, she was already an ally. The
Yeah.
issue is
Well, no, 'cause it
defining her
could've-
as a villain.
It could have gone into some of the stuff we talked about as far as affecting her, and
That's
she
true.
could have also been a villain in the future. You never know.
Yeah,
Yeah, she
that's
could have turned on us again, but instead they just.
Oh, I don't think with the writing in this game, I don't think she would have.
No.
The writing now, yeah.
Yeah.
but she's a lot of missed potential for me.
She is.
Is what I think
Oh,
in
yeah.
general.
I was gonna be nice, but I think just thinking her as a villain, I'm just gonna have to go with the Ice Blue F.
Ooh.
I don't think
Okay.
I can be nicer than that.
I'm gonna be A.
Okay. We're on the lower end, maybe. I know you have a soft spot for Ysale, Rolla. What do you?
But
Oh,
But we have a soft spot for her as
as
a
a
villain.
character.
Villain specifically, yeah. That's what we have
Yeah.
to rank.
I liked
them.
her introduction, yeah, and I liked the heretic storyline too, as being outcast people and trying to get some kind of rights,
Yeah.
Or she had a just cause. She had a very cool, she had a very coolness factor to her. No pun, whatever. So even separating that, I like her as a character. I think she's a solid C.
Okay.
Okay.
I kind of agree with Mela with that. I don't really feel in her short villain arc. She's two patches, Dreams
Yeah.
of Ice and
Yeah.
I wish
Heavensward.
they'd expanded on her more to showcase her justification for her actions and for her to be more of a leader to the heretics, because I feel
Yeah,
like they're
that
all
part.
equally participating really,
Yeah.
more so.
I have to say I don't know if I can go F because she is Shiva, which to me brings it up a little bit, but not.
This
higher
isn't the
than-
primals ranking.
I know it's not
Well-
a primals ranking. Fuck, you're right.
If you
No,
give,
but she turns
you
into a
give her-
primal. That's cool. That's presence.
but there are others that turn into primals that I prefer. Also, if you pick an E or an F, it will average out to an E regardless of the kill.
If I pick a what, an E or an F,
It will average out to E regardless.
I feel
If you
bad.
pick C or D, it will
but
average out to D.
This doesn't reflect on how I feel about Ysale as a character.
No,
This
of
is
course,
her as a
yeah.
villain.
You've
no.
got to understand
No.
this is them as villain.
Yeah, I'll
As
go E.
character, squandered
Yeah, she was a
character.
great character,
Yeah.
but she
Oh, I
just
don't know
didn't
if
get
I'd give her an S as a character, but this is not that list.
Right.
A for
Squandered.
potential though.
Okay.
Yes.
His Holiness Thordan the Eighth,
Yay! Seventh.
7th.
7th. Sorry, I know. who you
More than
rolled.
the eighth is still to come.
Yeah, that's true.
Emmerich, technically.
Emmerich the First.
I mean, well, no, it's because it's. I
He
don't.
can
It's
change his
Thor-
regnal name to Thordan.
Yeah.
Yeah, do they have regnal names?
I guess
Or
so.
are they born this way? We don't know.
That's true.
Because we know King Thordan the First was called just Thordan.
That's true.
Yeah. I guess that's their regnal
He was
name.
amazing.
That's the name of like the.
I think Emmerich would have been forced to change his name to Thordan in the end.
Yeah, I think so too. Okay.
I love Thordan and I love Heavenswood. I said it. Sue me.
Okay. All right.
You say that as if like you're a martyr for having that opinion.
How brave! How brave of you. Okay.
I think he's fantastic, and for reasons which Georgi doesn't like Lahabrea for, I like Thorn for, in the fact that he outsmarted the one who was trying to outsmart him. He was so in control of his, insane plot.
Mm-hmm.
I liked all the Heavensward. I liked pretty much everything Thordan did up until his mad end.
I like his mad end.
Yeah, and he was really scary when you meet him. Like the eyes, the presence, the Ramu beard. He's a very imposing villain.
Yes.
I don't think he outstayed his welcome either. I think he lasted a good amount.
No, I don't either.
No. I don't know what else there is to say about Thordan. I think he was just a very solid villain.
Yeah. I think he's solid. Don't think he's the best, not the worst.
No.
I'd say B for me.
He's between an A and a B for me.
Yeah, I'm up there with A and B. I'm not sure where. Probably maybe a B just because I think Gaius had a lot more backstory that was added to the game, whereas Thordan had to. I don't think they talked about Ishgard much in 1.0 and like really expanded on it enough.
No.
So they had to make a lot up, and I think they did a really good job with that.
Yeah, I think I'm at a B with Thordan.
Chat calling him a fraud. It's so funny.
You're a
biggest
fraud
villain.
Okay. So we're landing on a B then, I guess, by going by our scores.
Is that what you gave him?
I'll give him a B. So how many do we have? 2 A's?
Yeah, that's four B's.
Oh, 4 B's. Oh, we're all over. Okay, well there you go. Okay.
Well, unless Mela gave him an A, it still would have averaged to a B.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Nidhogg.
Yeah, the issue is there's not much to say about. Sorry, I just wanted to say.
Sorry.
Because I feel like we've moved on from Thordan so quickly. The issue is I just don't know that. Like he does typical villain things. He treats Emmerich like shit, even though he's his illegitimate son.
Yeah.
He's the reason that Horsham dies, sort of.
Yeah.
I hate thinking about him and that he fucked. That's so terrible.
Well,
he probably wasn't this
He didn't
old when
look like
fucked.
that when he fucked.
I know, but it's still terrible.
Comfort. It is terrible.
I don't like Pope sex.
I'm sorry. Yeah, well, you don't like Pope sex.
Well, also, I think it's interesting that he's essentially a pope, but it's a
and a king,
which means he has to fuck. The pope has to fuck to carry the line.
Never forget his little.
Oh wait, are they elected?
Ysale.
They are elected
by
oh, they are.
They're
Of course. I thought. Okay, so it's not actually a monarch. I never thought about it before that he'd fucked. Okay, so he was a bad pope. Well, he was obviously. Obviously.
We don't even know if
he was a bad pope.
Well, he was.
Well, he did because he fucked.
When he fucked.
But can cardinals fuck?
I don't know.
I don't think cardinals can fuck.
Maybe it could have been an accident.
Chant, can cardinals fuck?
Well,
no, we don't know about the rules about the Ishgardian Church. It might just be that because he's like, maybe it's only bad that he sired Emmerich because like they were unwed. Like I don't know about what the rules are in the Ishgardian Church that like whether or not you can.
Yeah.
Actually,
we've never had such questions before about the Ishgardian faith.
S tier because he's Catholic. Forgot about that.
He's not Catholic.
They made him a French racist Catholic elf. Come on. That's an S. I changed my
No.
Which Alison is?
No, it's fine.
Okay. Moving on. Nidhogg.
Oh, I love Nidhogg more than anything.
I know.
I love Nidhogg too.
Nidhogg's good.
Not as much as Mela.
No.
I know Rollo hates dragons.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to fight hard for you, Nidhogg. All right.
I like Nidhogg I just don't like dragons in most storytelling. I've told you that.
All right.
He's an alien, Rollo.
I know. That's what makes dragons better in here, I guess.
Think about his background. Think about what happened to his family members. Think about him being driven to madness over.
Why are you saying it like I hate him? I think he's a good
you don't have to
villain.
lobby.
Yeah,
Why
You
do you
don't have
hate
to-
Nidhogg?
Yeah.
Rollo, please.
Nidhogg.
Yeah. Rollo. What is F Rollo? No, I can't. That's crazy.
Rollo.
Okay. So.
I think he strung together Heaven's Word so well. I think I liked that, even though like the meeting the different dragons was very interesting. Like Racevolker should have hated us equally, but he had gone down a different path. And he was like, you know what, let's try and forgive and forget. But Nidhogg he'd gone too far, and he was like, do you know, I'm going to build my purple stink cloud in the sky and live there and kill everyone.
Racevolker didn't like us, but like he did nothing to stop Nidhogg. In fact, he gave him his spare eye. But like because of his love, because he'd fucked a woman, he didn't want to go that far as to destroy human.
Yeah. Let's not even don't even start to kill.
The Vor.
Okay. So
War saved humanity.
I'll leave it. I mean, this is the guy that is, the dragon that is keeping the Dragon Song War like running still. I mean, obviously Ishgard isn't helping, but he is like his hatred for humans is insane.
Never forget the patch day when the whole server was standing on the bridge, the Steps of Faith, and you saw him on the other side.
Yeah.
That was such a fucking good day.
That was.
I will never forget how good that was.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
Nidhogg was great.
For many people, that would have been the first time people experienced the transition of the music of like the expansion's theme directly into the battle, because unfortunately, as a result of the fact that there was no normal mode for coils, people didn't get to experience that with answers.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think he's a really good foil to Racevolker. Though I think maybe visually a little bit too obvious, where like Racevolker is like feathers, pretty white, and he's like evil spikes, black death.
Yeah.
It's a little too much, but I do appreciate it in there.
It's almost like dragons' emotions like change their appearance, but they don't. But it just feels like that way in this game.
You did also possess Estinian, that's true.
Second possession villain. Let's go. I think.
Estinian deserved it though.
What?
What? Estinian deserved it. Okay, you're very.
You looked really cool possessed though.
That's true. Yeah.
Remember as well when we thought you had to stand in the circles because they did 8 circles in the fight.
Yeah,
that was funny.
Oh.
Was good.
Oh god.
I would.
Yeah.
A
for Georgi.
A for me too.
Yeah, I think he's an A as well.
I agree. I concur. A for Nidhogg. There it is. Up with the greats.
Is that true? When I can't. Which one was that? Alto? I genuinely can't remember.
Yeah, Alto.
I can't remember the storyline for that one. But
that is true. Their
makes
evolution is impacted by their lives.
Yeah.
I'll
If he
have
wasn't
to
such
reread
a,
the logs for that one.
that's how you know Nidhogg, #1 hater. I respect that.
Even before Elto's storyline in the dragons specialize in flying.
Oh, you got censored then.
You got censored.
Okay. Even before Elto, in the lore book, they talked about how like dragons that specialize in flying, they evolve differently than those that stay to the ground.
That's fair.
I don't want this.
Yeah,
All right.
You can't.
Don't talk to me, lady.
I did think it was weird that you chose the lyrical song.
I forgot that
much,
that the first face of Nidhogg has just the lyrics. All right. Alexander.
I love Alexander too.
Should we explain why Alexander is here?
Oh, wow.
Because you could argue he is like a trial, boss, but he is not real. I mean, he is a villain. Like he is the. Because Bahamut is not on here.
Place everything.
I should point out. People might think Bahamut should be on here, but why is Alexander here and not Bahamut? Explain, Georgi. Explain.
Because Alexander has Alexander has agency. Alexander is aware of himself. control the occurrence of events, whereas Bahamut is really just all instinct.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Alexander, yeah.
I wouldn't actually say he's as much as I love him, I'm not sure where I'd place him as like an actual villain.
That's
I
fair.
feel like
I mean,
he's getting on with it, and we just like, you know, let's stop him.
I mean, the issue is that we perceive him as a villain because of the fact that he's absorbing so much ether, and we don't know, because he's associated with the Illuminati's plot. We believe that he is also working against us.
Yeah.
That's true. But they just want cheese. You know, they just want some gobby cheese. That's fine.
He's more of an antagonist than a villain. That's fair.
Yeah.
To say.
Yeah.
He has some great fights, but the storyline paid off. A lot of people hated Gordius storyline and a little bit of Midas storyline.
Yeah.
But when Creator came out and it all tied up, and then you saw yourself in the
stuff,
in the fight, that was cool.
A lot of 8-man raids suffer from having very minimal story in the first tier.
Yeah.
That's true.
I like that Alexander's plans come full circle and he gets exactly what he wants.
Alexander is one of those villains where he's not necessarily evil. Like,
He's
not
just
all
doing his
villains
own
are
thing.
evil, you know, but they're...
He's doing his thing.
Yeah, he's doing his thing, but...
And he did his thing.
Yes.
He did.
He did his thing.
And then he hangs around.
Yeah.
And then time travel all happened because of him, but sometimes not.
Yeah.
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 Well, most time travel is a result of researching him, not necessarily
Yeah.
because of him.
Yeah.
He saved the world.
In fact, I think all time travel in the game is a result of not him himself.
You need to repeat
I can't
that.
think of any
Result of what?
Oh, I think all time travel in the game is a result of researching him.
Right.
Okay,
Elpis isn't, but I guess it's kind of weird because it is time travel, but
Elpis
also
is.
not.
No, it is because we get sent back via the Crystal Tower, which was
That's
made
true.
to time travel as a result of researching him.
Oh, yeah, true. Right, because,
Seeing as he basically resolved our timeline and made sure we didn't die horribly, that's a good guy thing.
That is a good guy, so that shouldn't count.
Yeah.
So,
Alex
he's,
is
like I
actually
said, he's
right.
very complicated. Like, we have
He
to
is.
only consider...
He's neutral. He's a neutral
He's
entity.
chaotic,
He's
neutral.
he's
Yeah.
complicated because we think he's a villain.
Yes.
We can never know his mind.
He's on a different moral level entirely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like the Selves, which should be on here. Put the fucking, or put the 12. Oh, not the 12. Sorry.
Elementals?
Elementals. They should be on here.
That's
They
true.
are horrible, to be fair.
Horrible little creatures. Coolness factor is too high. I'm sorry. He is just.
He's cool.
But-
He does so much cool shit, and it's very. I don't know. It's fun to go for the romp with him.
But how good of a, villain is he? Like, if we're gonna be, like...
He's okay, but he's not amazing. He's like...
yeah.
He's
He's
like
very-
a C, maybe.
As a villain, he's very C is where I was leaning as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Rollo, where do you want to put him?
It's hard to separate the man from the legend. You know? I mean,
It's difficult to rank.
it's
Yeah.
Alexander. He gets one of the best ultimates, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
C.
I'll put him in A. I'm sorry. Rule of cool. Rule of cool is too
A.
Cool
strong.
is A. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
A for Alexander.
Cool factor is just too high.
I think villain-wise, he's a C for me, but where does that put him? So
A B overall.
If C, if there's 3 season 1 A's, it's a C.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh. Okay. Well, sorry, Alex. You're C. But you got an A, Alex,
It's just-
and that's.
Yeah, it's just it's just that I find it difficult to see him as a villain, even though presented such at the start.
Yeah. C for creator. There you go. Okay, Diabolos.
Final Heavensward.
Diabolos.
He showed up in.
He
showed up the first time in Amdapor. Yeah.
And then a second time somewhere.
Yeah, he showed up in.
And then a third time in Mark.
No, I think you're thinking of Amdapor Keep Hard with Ferdiad.
Oh yeah, Ferdiad has 2 appearances. Didn't Diabolos appear?
No, but
3 times?
Diabolos I feel like he had a third appearance.
Are you thinking of the Diabolos armament from?
No, I know that.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't remember. Or maybe I'm just. I feel like he appeared more. I feel like there was like a surprise moment where it was like, oh, why is Diabolos here again? But okay, anyways.
Maybe not.
Appeared in Mach. That's probably where most. He was in the dungeon with other doors. That was his first time.
Yeah,
that's lost to be normal.
Yeah.
Which was a good fight. Actually, quite hard.
Yeah, but now people ignore the mechanics, which makes me really sad.
Yeah, it's a shame. I think that's a good
he makes
fight.
a cameo.
I
think
thought he did.
I think he pops up somewhere else at some point, but I just can't remember right now. It doesn't matter. His most iconic appearance is in
What's his actual? What does Diabolos want?
He wants to be able to bring Void Scent over.
Yeah.
As far as I can tell.
He wants to do Void Scent things, which is.
He's not very complicated. I'm sorry, mate.
No, he's not. And why doesn't he just join up with the Parnies at the Halloween event?
Because they're not very successful.
Yeah, but if they all bash their heads together.
Well, he wants to be the main guy, and
he wants to be the leader.
Yeah.
This is the trouble with Voice Scent.
Yeah. He just wants to be cool. He just wants to be loved by his Void Scent and have them everywhere.
He is fucking cool.
He does look cool.
He is cool.
He's so cool looking.
He's got that drip.
Yes.
Especially
and when he's like
his
fucking primed
final
up
form
in
Mark, which like critical hits you for the whole first 5 minutes of the fight.
Yeah.
You think he's doing it? Yeah, you think he's doing everything to summon Skatak. Then he reveals at the end that no, I want to eat Skatak.
Yeah.
It was tasty.
I will say, he is a little flat.
Oh, he is just an evil demon.
Yeah.
He's really cool looking, but he doesn't do much. But I like pop-up villains like him, where he comes back like multiple times.
Yeah. I know it's so obvious, but he really just does feel like Diablo from the Diablo series, you know? In the same stem of like goals for the most part, which is like, I'm from bad place, doing the bad thing, because I love being bad.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. There's not a lot on Diabolos, so I don't know what else we can say about him.
He's between a C and a D for me, personally. He's cool, but like...
Technically part of the Diablo armament, right?
Yes.
When you find him...
Isn't he?
That was more like the ultimate weapon, but maybe it was... Right, I'm gonna have to do.
Or was he just based? I thought he was.
It is based on him
because it was made to bind him.
Yeah,
I know that.
I don't know if they.
You're right. A fragment of him.
Yeah.
In the
he's still that's still kind of.
So that's what I was thinking. Okay, so it was that. Okay, yeah.
Okay,
that's where he popped up again. Diabolos is a species and a person.
I mean, I will say that part doesn't doesn't add much to me because that's kind of like agency-less again.
Yeah. It's just a piece of him.
It's cool though.
Yeah, it's cool.
It is. Cool.
It is cool.
Coolness is a factor.
That might push him up to a C for me. I just have because he's so simple. There's not much depth to him.
I think he's a pretty, he's a ominous-looking dude. The threat level when he appears is like, oh yeah. Whereas like things like Ferdiad, because he looks like a clown and all of his fights are a clown.
Yeah.
He's like, you feel like he's a little bit more comical, but Diablo's just. I may C as well then, yeah. C or D, that's kind of listening.
Really good theme song, by the way. I
like. Yes, he does.
I like that they reuse it for the armament.
Yeah.
Well, they remix it for the armament. It's great.
Yeah. Okay, Rollo, did you give one a score?
Rule of Cool brings up to a B.
B.
Okay.
Oh wow, really love Diabolos here.
Oh, you're gonna go low.
I find his flatness as a character so underwhelming.
That's fair.
He is like, if we're gonna call Lahabrea a pop-up villain in A Realm Reborn, Diabolos is perhaps the most pop-up villainy as there is.
Yeah.
I'd have to go D, but I guess that lands him on a C.
Okay.
All right.
That's fair.
I
mean, he's not dead. He can always come back.
That's true.
That's true.
We might see him again in the Void
But
Sense storyline that comes back.
I mean, he is a
He'll
pop-up
never
villain,
come back
so-
whole though, unless he goes
They'll
to
ignore
the
that part.
armament and reclaims that last part of himself.
Nah, they'll ignore that.
I mean, maybe destroying the armament is what released it back into the void.
Yeah, which
That's
Stormblood
true.
song theme should I play now?
I would do the what was the boss theme for the last thing in Stormblood?
I was thinking that too.
What was
Just
it
go
called?
Stormblood boss theme.
Shinryu. I was thinking the Shinryu theme.
You want the Shinryu fight thing? Oh, the Worm's Tail then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. Other than that,
Okay, it's time to talk about Zenos.
Okay, now, if you're talking about people who got done dirty...
You want to start a timer? See how long this one lasts? Just compared to... Put a timer on screen for me, Lucio. I just want to see.
In Stormblood, he was a pretty good villain. His
I
presence
only like
was
the
huge.
end of him in Stormblood.
Like when you remember the early fights when we lost every time. That
and I
felt
hated
cool.
that.
That felt so cool because you knew how strong he was.
Yeah, Mela. But we have to. He is a villain throughout the entire game, so we have to.
Yeah. He was ruined after Storm. He should have gone after
Which is
his final moment.
about this much of his entire arc at this point, because the rest of the game he just kept coming back.
I like him in Endwalker.
I think my feelings on Zenos in general, as him as a villain, have been such a roller coaster. But you know what? I live for it. And he is the only villain that addresses the player or has a message directed to the player.
That's true.
And calling out how you play this game. It is, I mean, a lot of
but here's the issue. A lot that made people. But that's one of the instances where people got really angry because none of the options they had felt right to them.
Right.
Georgi, if you're going to give points to Lolorito for pissing people off,
away from him.
I think Zenos deserves lots of points.
I liked him in Endwalker.
No, I'm just saying.
I kind of agree with you. I think his kind of backseat, not giving a shit, just hanging around lazily is cool. I think his Endwalker's presence was okay. I think the shit time was post Stormblood when he was doing his resurrection arc, going through random bodies and shit. It was weird.
I agree.
I think it's sad because it's tainted people's memories of Zenos because it's 100% true that everyone thought he was amazing in Stormblood and you've all collectively forgotten that you liked him.
Yes.
That is 100% true, and people may not agree, but it is 100%
amazing.
true.
That's not true. I probably said that he was good. He's a good villain.
Yeah, that's how I think as well. I think I was fine with him.
I wasn't blowing my load all over him, but you certainly were.
No, maybe not to that.
What about community reception there?
Right.
Community reception, I think.
But there was a big like for him back then, comparatively, and then a lot of people were like, no,
we waned off him because he came back and they ruined everything.
They did, yeah. They did.
Well, they ruined Garlemald with him.
Yeah.
He ruined Garlemald. That's one of his biggest crimes.
Single-handedly destroyed. But the trouble is, it's such a difficult... Like what I said, it's a rollercoaster, because all he wants to do is be best buddies with us and have a fight.
But
you know what? He fucks up so much shit doing just to do that. It's like, is that good or bad?
He got his goal. In the end, he won.
This motherfucker turned into a dragon to fly to the end of the universe just to be best buddies with us again. If that's not dedication, what is?
This man ran a train through multiple plot points.
Yeah.
Just to do what he wanted to do because of the absolute emptiness this man carried inside.
Oh, I mean, I agree. The issue is that because of his emptiness, he killed more interesting storylines.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He
almost
could have been so much more than what he is. I think the fact that he just wanted to do that makes him kind of boring because that's all he does.
Know.
It's all he wants. But
I kind of like that.
I think the strength of the fact I can understand why you don't like it, but I think the strength of it is that there's a reason for why he's the way he is. Like it's not just I'm bad, ha ha ha. Like it's always like he understands that what he's doing is evil, but he's also like he justifies it by saying it doesn't matter what the reason is. You'll hate me regardless.
Yeah.
That's like it is. It's I don't know. I think he's really at the end after everything. I think it all really came together.
I agree.
We're going to be so
some people
give Zenos high scores, aren't we?
I wish they hadn't done the shit.
Is this vanilla?
This
I
is
feel
vanilla.
people would...
But no!
Giving
It's
Zenos
vanilla.
high point?
It's vanilla to hate
people
him. What are
hate
you
him.
talking about?
Yeah,
Oh, I thought the
hate
new
him.
cool was to love him again after Endwalker.
No.
I mean,
No!
Everyone, no, that he's never been lower. People have.
He's never been lower?
No, people have dug.
No, that's untrue.
Like hating Zenos.
He was lower in
cheering
Shadowbringers.
it. Maybe in Shadowbringers.
Yeah, what
okay,
the
maybe
fuck?
it's not.
People were like fucking jacking off to the end screen with Zenos. I remember that. Where were you all?
No.
Do you not remember that?
I still think his like community reception to him is still majority negative.
It is, yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
I don't agree with it. Definitely don't.
Oh, I do.
But it's it is. You are more in the like popular opinion side or whatever. If you hate Xeno, same thing with like
Yeah,
hating
you are.
Stormblood or whatever.
Okay. Good. I want to be with the masses for once. I'm with you, masses. I refuse this jacking off of Zenos. All right.
I think when all's said and done, you know, he's a long-lived, weird, zany, odd character. But I found his Stormblood presence so strong, and then I felt such anguish at them ruining him, and then I felt such strange emotions throughout Endwalker, where we got some of the. Like you have to like the out in the cold. The out in the cold.
Were you shoving yourself Nael through Zenos? Like what?
I blame out in the cold more on Fandaniel and
That's true. Fandaniel, yeah, that is fair. But like, he was so integral to some interesting parts in Endwalker.
If you want to talk about impact in this game, in the community, even memes, if you want to include that, he's the GOAT. He absolutely is the GOAT.
True. You did say that more memes equals higher ranking, and no one's had more memes than him.
And he is our Dissidia representative for whatever that means.
Yeah. It's true.
I like his little samurai face.
One of the most iconic bosses
Yeah.
or villains in this game, other than
huge ass.
another person
He had
we're
the
gonna
weird
talk about.
golf caddy like
He
sword thing.
He doesn't have a huge ass. His ass is
He
light.
used to, and but everyone
They retconned the ass.
Will he? Won't he? And he had the fucking like golf caddy sword scabbard thing. Like he was just all over the place. I liked him.
I love. Everyone else is also freaked out by him, right?
Yeah.
Like every
He's
other
terrifying.
villain that talks about him is like, this guy's weird. Like what's his face?
Yeah, they
in Shadowbringers, they have that cutscene at one of the patches where what's his face turns into all the villains. Not Lahabrea. Warrior of Light, the man.
Yeah.
Elidibus, where he's like turning into all the villains and like having a little moment or whatever, and then he turns into Zenos. He's like, ugh, this guy's weird. He's a little off.
He's a bit fruity. So
I don't know. I think it adds to it that he's just that much of a freak
People
for his goal.
Yeah, because other villains don't understand him because his motivations.
Yes, I agree with that.
His motivations, what, Georgi?
He confuses other villains because his motivations confuse them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He knows what he wants and he goes for it. I know you can drag him down as much as you want, but on record, A.
Oh.
A.
That the little his
I'm
little
not giving him an
backstory.
S.
In,
No, he's not an ass. We're not stupid, but he is good.
The little backstory he gets in Chronicles of Light is really good too, by the way, if you guys haven't read. I mean, we have, but for people watching, I think that does also add to his character.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, the GOAT, greatest of all time, S.
Hey, good on you.
Good on you. Yeah.
I'll have it on the record that I
He's
said B, but he will.
Number
stay.
one hater and lover.
Wow.
Same time.
You're way higher than I thought you were going.
Yeah.
I don't
I'm
hate
glad to- I'm glad
Zenos
to
like
hear.
that much.
I'm glad
I
to
mean,
hear.
I hate him, but he's a villain. He's a good villain.
Exactly, and that's however you feel about him, he's got you, and that's good.
Yeah.
I feel like the community sentiment about him is just part of his narrative now. Like his
Yeah.
in-game.
Yeah.
It is Zenos hate is always so funny because he wins in that
Yeah.
conversation.
He's not,
essentially.
he's not just a villain of the game. He's the meta villain of the whole
Yeah,
franchise.
people will scream at you if you even suggest that. What if he came back in Dawn
Yeah.
Trail?
Yeah.
They will frothing at the mouth.
Yeah.
Just start screaming how much they hate him every single time. It is like no other villain can do this.
It's
like
so
maybe
funny.
Lolorito a little bit because his
Fuck
art
him.
wasn't good.
Yeah,
But,
but he was
like,
shit.
it is just it's so good. It's so good.
It is, and it's crazy that he went over and built the City of Gold. Obviously, Solution 9 was
I have to
Zenos's.
say, like, part of Zenos. I agree with Signer in chat. Like, there's so much shit he does off screen, and I will never forgive him for like destroying Garlemald off screen. Literally, we've waited 10 years to enter this godforsaken fucking
That is
city.
true.
To see Garlemald. We get
And
ruins.
He destroyed something you cared about. He got to you. He won. Still.
He can never lose. 'Cause
Exactly.
he doesn't give a shit.
No matter what you say about him, he's just like he wins no matter what.
Fuck him. I'm glad he's fucking
also
dead with
agree
his
with-
stupid
I
nipple
Yeah,
head.
his soul was
I-
first in line at the soul collection point in Solution 9. What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
I agree with chat that like the one thing that was missing in that final fight with him is you can't say that you don't care about him.
Yes.
Yeah.
That too. I hate
That's
that
what
part.
he would least want.
Well, listen, I wish you could say lots of things in this game that they really want your
We should
character
just
to
say,
feel.
Yeah.
fuck you. to him.
I wish you
He'd
Get
could.
out
like
of my
that.
game. Leave
Fuck-
my game.
Fuck you is too like shows that you care about him. That
Yeah.
would he
Yeah,
would
That's
enjoy
true.
that.
Die.
The only way to win is to not feel strongly about him, and you
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
because
Oh,
you
just-
dislike
just-
him.
Bye.
Yeah.
There you go.
Just
That's
walk
the one.
away.
Or just
Uh,
walk. Fordola.
Fall asleep on the spot.
Fordola Rem Lupus.
I like
Fordola's tough.
Fordola.
Ooh.
She's
Like
a-
her backstory, I think it's very, very
She's a
good
shark.
of trying like the narrative of like being in an occupied area and like the underclass, occupied people, and her story of trying to climb up that, but still not getting what she wants in recognition or rights, essentially.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's really good. Very tragic.
Quite realistically done.
Complex.
And it
character.
shows too. It takes a long time for people to even start forgiving her. It was
Yeah.
like
I mean, some people
entire
still
expansion.
Some
Yeah.
people.
Even
That's
then-
one strong point for it, because other characters are forgiven, like within the conversation, within the same cutscene. Whereas I do agree, it's very well done with how she was ostracized by the Alameda.
I mean,
Yeah.
part of what makes her so tragic is that she doesn't realize when the tides of the turning against the Garlean Empire, at least in Alamigo, such
No.
that like she could have potentially switched sides at some point, but she's still she holds tight to the thing that has trodden on her whole life because she thinks there's no other alternative.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it takes her such a long, like her entire youth and young adulthood, essentially. It's taken her to unlearn that, or even begin unlearn that.
She saw her father stoned by other Alamegans.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to have been a hellish upbringing. She was busy mates with Ida, original,
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
which is
a good
cool.
one.
Nice to get some backstory on Real Leader.
Yeah.
Also, artificial echo. That's also another cool thing.
That's cool.
Rule of
Yeah.
cool.
What were they called? What was her like little group? The canine people, or whatever. Canis. I don't remember. She had like a team of people.
Yeah, it was
didn't
some.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
And
Oh, the
died
Canis
in the-
lupus or something?
she? Yeah, is it Canis lupus?
Yeah, I think so.
They were cool.
And they all died in the collapse of that tower in the peaks.
Yeah.
She's a resonant. That's what I'm thinking.
That
Resonant.
was
That's-
because of that weird. Who was captured and put on that cryo?
Cryo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lol. Poor Cryo.
Of all the ones.
I know
together.
it's harsh, isn't it? Poor little Cryo on the with the death
Man,
laser floating around.
By the way, now that we know what the echo is, an artificial version of it, still a very insane feat to achieve.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a very, it's a god's. Well, I guess not real gods, but like a charm. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It is interesting. That's Garlean tech is very advanced, clearly. But yeah, Fordola. Villain-wise, how do we feel? Like she's a
It's
villain.
only just recently she kind of like, even in that first Stormblood patch where she's captured and she's like, she comes out to help. She's still kind of iffy,
Yeah.
as in terms of like she's helping, but she's still getting over.
She's like still struggling with all. She needs to get deprogrammed almost from everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like.
Yeah,
go on.
I was just gonna say, people in chat were asking about the bomb collar. They removed that at the end of the healer.
Healer roll quest.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, I forgot she was in that role quest, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh.
It's tough to say when she stops being a villain.
Well, that's kind of good as well. I feel like
That's true.
you never really know when she's like on
I
our
don't really
side.
trust her even now.
I think she's past it now.
I trust her now.
Yeah, she has
I
like.
think she'd do what
she's very
more
bound
us,
to,
but I think she's still.
What's his name?
Part of Arenvold.
Arenvold.
Part of her
Arenvold, yeah.
redemption was saving Arenvold at best as she could. In
Yeah.
well, it was her fault that Arenvold is paralyzed.
Yes.
Actually.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Cool ass design too, by the way. I like the face tattoo and like the
Mhm.
half armor chest piece she used to have.
Yeah.
And also, she's the only one with like a scimitar gunblade. No one else has
Oh,
anything.
yeah.
It's such a cool fusion
cool.
of the Garlean like tech, but with the
Alamegan.
Alamegan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really. I don't know if she still uses it, but it's really cool.
That's a good question. I don't know if we've seen it in the past few cutscenes, but yeah. Okay, we need to put her down. Sorry, rank.
I take her out back. Oh shit, she's only 19. She should have been at the club. What the hell?
Yeah. What the
yeah.
Mm.
Oh god.
A. I'd put her in A.
Guardian Club.
Hey. Okay.
Yeah, I think
B.
I think she does a really good job at
I like
being
her-
the villain and
yeah.
engaging.
I like a complex villain. That's not just one.
Yeah.
One beat. Mela.
B as well. Just looking at what we have in.
I'm
A
looking.
versus
Yeah.
B.
She never reaches like the threat level of the other people at A.
Mhm.
I feel like. I mean, I would argue
Yeah.
she doesn't really hit, B either. But
She
because
was
she has
rarely
such
our
a
major villain.
complicated character, I like.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well,
I'll say B.
her being a resident was a really big
That's
like
true. That's a good point.
Yeah.
that made her very very strong. Like I think they mentioned it, but like at one point almost similar to Zenos. At sort of, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll land on a B then. Okay. This one as well, polarizing, I think.
Oh,
Yotsuyu. Go Brutus. Go Brutus. Eat
Go
you, Brutus.
Brutus.
Go Brutus.
what does that mean?
It's Brute. Okay.
They did
Oh.
almost ruin her, but they didn't, and that's what I really like about her.
Oh god, they came so close to like, one, are they redeeming her? And two, Are they making her have like a weird baby romance thing with Gosetsu? Where she's like the brain of a child and he's like in
I never thought that was a romance. I always thought it was a father and daughter.
Yeah.
Well,
but
it was
still
teetering
weird
on the edge.
Maybe you're just
it was
yeah.
I mean,
Gosetsu would never. Maybe
Gosetsu wouldn't, but
maybe you've just been exposed to too many bad things on the internet.
Yeah, maybe. It was weird.
I hate Yotsuyu, and that's why she's good.
Yeah.
Every time she was on screen, she was being a.
I was seething.
Bitch.
I was seething when I saw her.
Stepping on the boy.
Yeah.
That
Talk about
harsh.
iconic. Remember that was the thing.
Oh yeah.
All the cosplayers did was they did that
Yeah,
thing where they
that's
stepped
true.
on people. That was like, yeah.
Like, whereas like a lot of the villains in Stormblood like had some motivation, or they were doing the pushing for Garlemald, doing the Guardian stuff. She was just gallivanting around being a horrible woman.
She hated everyone because it wasn't just the Garlean. It wasn't just the Well, Doma treated her like shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Garlemald treated her like shit.
Yeah.
So she just had it out for everyone.
Yes.
Her family did. Her foster, was it stepbrother or adopted brother?
Foster brother.
Foster, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Everything went wrong for her.
She had a horrible.
I almost think kind of overly tragic. I think the brothel thing kind of pushes it a little over the edge. I didn't like where they went with that personally. I like the rest of it though. But
I mean, she probably has one of the darkest backgrounds of.
Yeah.
It's the brothel, which is how she met Zenos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
Also, +1 to her, smoking some opium.
Yeah.
Doing drugs like a boss.
That's good.
On that opium pipe.
I like about her is that she realizes she's beyond redemption when she gets her memory back.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. She. Yeah, we have. She gets like a weird redemption arc thing, which we're supposed to ignore. But then at the end, she's still a villain. Like she comes back again. It wasn't a redemption arc, really.
She doesn't consider it a redemption arc.
No.
She doesn't think she deserves that.
She's irredeemable.
Hmm.
She does remind me a lot of Orange.
She does. Yeah, I remember Orange was.
Oh, okay.
Some opinions.
Oh, okay.
He was obsessed with
I thought you were talking about as a person, and I was like, what?
No. He was obsessed with Yotsuyu.
Does Orange smoke opium?
Oh yeah, big opium smoker.
Loves it.
Yeah, he loved Yotsuyu.
I think in her base
Sorry,
expansion, she very good presence, amazing presence. I would say rivaling Gaius, but like in an opposite kind of way, Very good. She does great in the base. Patches, kind of weird. I think the first patches with her, that's where I had those kind of weird doubts. Later on, it went away, but
you start.
Yeah, but I don't think the ending.
Hang on.
I don't think her ending works if you don't have the part where you're like,
yeah,
beforehand.
Because as the patches go on, you start to realize that okay, maybe this isn't the redemption arc I think it is, because she's starting to like. At some point, she starts to get her memories back, and you start to see that.
Asahi forces her to.
Yeah.
He gives her the mirror and stuff.
Yeah, and that was the moment with the mirror, especially, was when you know. Okay.
And he kind of, obviously they're intertwined characters, but he kind of just further adds to that. She's been shat on by everyone, because even when you thought maybe she could be redeemed, he decides to fuck her over one last time.
Yes.
And force her to become Tsukiyomi.
Yeah.
So, I mean, life was unkind to her.
No.
Hey, she got revenge.
She did.
Good for her.
Did.
Girl boss.
She was a girl, the ultimate girl boss of 14.
If life treats you that badly, Roller, you've got to hope you get some revenge, because what else is there for you?
I'm glad
okay, and again,
characters don't.
I already said like iconic. I mean, her look is iconic too. Like her with the pipe.
Oh yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
That's an iconic.
People still want her outfit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. They're never going to give it to us. They've already said that. But like, I mean, of the two main women villains of Stormblood, who do you see more cosplays of at this point?
Oh,
I guess her, yeah.
Yeah, it would be Yotsuyu, wouldn't it? Yeah.
How old was she? 32? Should have not been in the club.
No.
Okay.
She should have been putting her feet
She
up
should've-
with a bit of knitting.
she should have
or
owned
Should have been
the club.
knitting at home, sitting by the fireplace in a
Knitting.
rocking chair knitting.
Yeah.
Uh,
She's
Knitting
an
by
A for me.
firelight.
A, yeah. Okay, 1A now. Next. Next!
I'd say A.
Okay.
I think
I
it's
think so too. I think she did enough within her time. I think she did a lot.
I concur.
Very interesting character.
A. Asahi. Sus. Sass.
I don't
Brutus.
like him as much. Even he is a good
oh.
villain, and he makes me angry, which is what they're meant to do.
I
he's
think
a little bit less short. He's a bit more short-lived than she is.
Easier
that's
to
fair.
hate this guy.
Oh, he's a
What I like
Yeah.
about Asahi is I think what you like about Nero and Rollo.
He's a jobber.
Well, he is
He's
a
a
jobber, but he's
coward.
also just a little shit.
He is.
He
Yeah.
really is a chef.
He is a mewling little pathetic boy pining over Zenos.
Yeah.
Who returns
I-
nothing to him.
Yeah.
Sometimes I forget about that aspect of his character, that he's just a little fucking for Zenos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
He's a twat.
He was barely around too. But you know what? He really did have an impact for that
Oh, big
very short
impact.
time.
I mean,
was it 2
ultimately-
patches?
yeah.
Yeah, 2 patches. Ultimately, also his body sticks around long after he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Ultimately, he's the reason Yotsuyu does what she does.
Yeah.
In the
Yes.
end.
Yes. Yeah.
All he does is turn up with Zenos and like, hi Zenos, look at me, and then he does a little stupid
Well,
thing.
he
Does
doesn't
little
turn-
hair twirl.
Yeah, he does his
He
little
doesn't
twirl, and then he goes away.
We don't meet. Yeah. We don't
Every
meet Asahi
time.
until after Zenos is dead.
Right.
He thinks
All
Zenos
our
is dead.
interactions with him, it's like, hi, you're an idiot. Here's a mirror. Bye for now.
But it's not like that at
tries-
first though. He's
Yeah.
very like
He
calm.
pretends He represents the
Horrible.
popularis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, he was doing the ambassadorial stuff.
And
wasn't he?
I mean,
That's
come on. That iconic in your face scene he does.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
So good. Such a short amount of time too.
That's part of what makes him
Impactful.
so good as a villain, because he feels the part where he pretends to be nice.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's relatable
Yeah.
in to real
Very
life.
much office politics kind of
Yes.
thing.
There
Yeah.
you go, guys. Don't ever trust Georgi.
Yogi is Asahi. He will lean in
That's
your
true.
face after the
Yeah.
meeting.
Yeah. You're Asahi.
I really
coded.
like. It's very impactful, but I think for me, I'll have to place him behind Yotsuyu.
Oh, yeah,
I'll
I
probably
mean-
go for a B.
To me, it's definitely.
Well,
been
I'm
low.
happy with him being wherever up there, but I'll say B for him.
His hair just brings him down a rank. Okay. Thank you for that
Yeah,
comment.
the coolness factor is off for him.
Yeah, I lose a point for coolness. Sorry. Rule of cool, opposite ways.
Nice outfit, more or less, but other than that,
I mean, it contrasts with the Yotsuyus as well. It's between an A and a B. I feel like I'm one of Asahi's biggest defenders, so I'm tempted to just say A.
Does he need
even though
defenders? I
don't-
thought people like him. Do they not?
No, people hate Asahi.
People hate.
Well,
But
do
you're
they
meant
like to
but
hate
hating
him?
hating
or...
is a good thing in this sense, though, because that would give him a
Yeah.
higher score. So you're supposed to hate him.
Hmm.
Mm,
I wish he was around a little bit longer. If he was,
Yeah.
I agree.
if he was shown as Zenos retainer at least a couple times or something,
Yeah.
you know, I think that
Hmm.
kind of would have made him a little bit
Esquire.
better.
my lord.
Okay, Rollo.
Polished by
I'm going to say
Tuchel.
A, personally.
Jorgi says A. Rollo.
I'd say B.
Mhm.
Okay. Mela.
B.
He said B.
Yeah. I can't. I'm even. Nah. Yeah. I'll say B. I
Mm.
think he's. I think Yotsuyu's just a little higher.
I thought he'd end up as a B, and it's kind of where I wanted him to be. But just I wanted people to know that I love him.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fair.
Number one Asahi defender for some
Yeah.
reason.
Simping for Asahi. Okay. Varis.
Oh,
Wasted potential.
So
Makes me
much
so
wasted
upset.
the
Uh,
tent
He
scene was
could have been so
good.
much.
That 10 seat was his best moment.
So
Yes.
good. It was so ominous with the weird moths shot with the lanterns.
Yeah.
There's so much good shit.
I would say weirdly more absent than he should have been, even before the
Agreed.
Stormblood stuff.
Squandered
Like, you know,
the whole
Yes.
he
character.
should have been there a bit more in A Realm Reborn, for sure.
I agree.
More of a presence.
Yeah.
Well, he was an emperor then.
Son,
He still could have.
and he is the son of Solus, right?
Who is
Or is he the?
our boy?
He is the son of his brother. Wait.
No, he's the son of
cannot
Emet-Selch.
remember. I
He's
thought
'cause-
he-
No, he
Yeah,
is
I thought he-
Emet-Selch's son.
He's the
No, his father was
He's the
Solus'
nephew?
firstborn son.
Yeah. Oh, is this his nephew? Yeah, there's some sort of uncle connection because there was a
he
civil war,
nephew?
wasn't there?
I
like
thought it-
yeah.
there was a war of
I can't
His
succession.
father was Emperor Solus' firstborn son. His mother was Hypatia Weir Galvus.
Sorry, did you say?
Also, his
Say it again, Mel. Let's start
his,
from the top.
his father was Emperor Solus' firstborn son.
So Emet-Selch.
yeah.
So yeah, okay. He is
So
the direct
grandson, then.
Yes, the
Emet-Selch's
grandson
grandfather.
of.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
obviously his son was Zenos.
Ah, the family tree. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me have a look. See.
So many issues with Varis. Also hits his.
Okay, yeah. So that makes him
sauce.
even more like interesting. Like he
Yeah.
has Emet-Selch's blood running through him. He has all this like ominous.
You
Oh,
didn't
there
get that
was-
one to Zenos though, huh?
Yes,
He is Emet-Selch's great grandson.
That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah. Yeah. He and
Well, that's what causes it.
Yeah.
Isn't that what caused Zenos to have the stupid weird visions of
Yes.
the end of days?
I think so.
Mhm.
Is
which-
that? I
Well, no,
Oh, I
I
never
don't
said
think.
that.
What was that ever fully explained?
think it's because he was a resonant.
Or was it just a
But
part
I
of the
think it's all
resonance?
over the place.
Oh yeah, that might have been it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it might have been. Yeah. But
Also,
Varis
yeah,
is closer
Maynard's
to
right.
Solus.
You did spell his name. You spelled his
Yeah.
title wrong.
It's fine.
Sauce.
Oh,
Sauce,
sauce.
sauce.
SOS. Weird.
Sauce.
You would have thought I would have just copy pasted. I didn't do that. Okay, yeah.
That's fine. I don't know, man.
I hate.
I don't.
I hate
I
what
think.
they did to
I think
Aurora.
Varis was such a good character, and I think right up until like close to the last moment, he was on track to be one of the
Well,
most interesting emperors. Such a good villain.
No,
And-
I'll say I don't think he was a good character until the 10th scene. I think he
Yeah.
was very absent from the storyline
well,
up
that's
until that.
part.
point.
Yeah, maybe so.
That's true.
I think a lot of it was background stuff, like
But he
that
was
gross
presented-
low poly face.
Well, we heard talks of like we knew that there had been a lot of shit happening in
Civil
Garbled.
War.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but we didn't get to see
I
him
think
until then.
he becomes emperor in Realm Reborn, though, right?
Yes, Solus dies at the
Yes.
start of A Realm Reborn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or right.
Or
No, 1.0.
right after. Very.
Wait.
Yes. Wait.
I don't remember.
No, I
No,
don't think
Solus
so. I
is
think-
alive during 1.0.
Yes.
He's
he
emperor.
dies at some point during A Realm Reborn.
Yeah.
Because I remember there's a scene of Varis spitting on his
Yes.
casket.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm.
Right. There's this really cool artwork of Solus. I think it might be A Realm Reborn. It could be 1.0 of Solus as like an old man with like a huge beard, which I'm sad that we never get to see in A Realm Reborn.
well,
Yeah.
one
So
of the many
It's in the
songs.
lore book.
it is in the lore book. Yeah.
He becomes emperor right before Azizla. Really? That's late.
Well, that's when it
Ah.
happens. Okay. Yeah, because there's a war of succession, isn't there? But until he becomes emperor. Between his uncle and whatever.
I love all these excuses they come up with to prevent us from like Garnold from flattening us.
Yeah. Yes. Well, so we don't have much to go on Varis, but what we have is pretty good until he is just cut down. Like, there's just building villain. They're building a villain, right? And then
Yeah.
he's at his peak, and we're like, oh, shit's about... He's talking about, like, the ultimate race. Remember that he was talking about?
Ubermensch.
Yeah.
He was the
Ubermensch.
Ubermensch
It
guy.
was
And
so good.
He
It was so
broke,
interesting.
like, he left that negotiating table, just left, is like, we're invading, bitch. And that's it. And then he...
Well, my favorite part is that like he throws the conquering part in his face. Then like Kane Senna actually offers a good rebuttal to that, which I can't exactly remember what she said because it's Kane Senna.
Yeah.
But I just remember that afterwards, like Varis is just straight up like, yeah, well, fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm right.
Yeah.
Like he shows that he's a massive hypocrite.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But He's an interesting one because, you know, Gaius, very loyal, and when he finds out he's dead, very sad.
Yeah.
But obviously, Zenos don't give a shit.
Hey,
it's interesting that there's this complexity within there. You know, within.
Didn't Varis show like a little bit of doubt towards like invading Eorzea as well? I feel like there was a little moment where before he went to the peace talks, because I feel like we were being led on a little before that talk in the tent, that Varis might not be I think we talked about it on the podcast, in fact, that Varis might not be a bad guy.
I think because it was at one part of the path when he was like, he found out about Emet-Selch, that what he is, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh shit, we're pawns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He realizes that all of this is like an Ascian thing. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, he's like, and then after that, all of a sudden, he's like, okay, Ubermensch time.
Yeah. Yes. Which was so
a lot
strange.
Of explanation.
Yeah. It was like he's just flipped.
Well, if nothing is real, just do what you want.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. He got like disillusioned. Is like, nothing's real anyway. What the fuck does it matter?
He had to make way for the big boy, Zenos.
Yeah,
exactly.
He had to die. They were too. Oh. I will never. I'm still mourning. I'm still grieving Varis' death. But we need to give him a spot on this list.
I can't give him any higher than a D.
Yeah.
Just because of how much wasted potential he is.
Yeah.
Again, he didn't have much presence. Like, he essentially has one really good scene, maybe two, I guess, if you count him.
Squandered it.
Finding out about the Emet.
When he meets Emet-Selch, I think is a good scene as well.
Yeah. So I'd say D too. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has to go D, so Zenos can be A.
Agreed.
He can balance.
Yeah, D. I think I'll go D as well. So there we go.
He did have that cool trial too,
yeah. Okay.
Actually.
Omega.
Oh.
This is a difficult one to rank because
it's so difficult.
our Omega is the Omega, but we have to judge him based on our version. Like, I know it's the Omega, but we have don't take his entire
what he did
game history into consideration.
It's so difficult because like as a villain, I like him. Or as like a sort of antagonistic creature, I suppose. I like him.
Yeah.
But I find it hard to break him away from the just absolute snore fest that was like the Raid series storyline. Having everything within the ethereal Fisher thing.
Yeah.
You didn't like the anime tourney arc?
The dimensional rift.
The dimensional rift. Yeah, I don't like pulling us into this magical plane and just making us do arcade battles. Even though they were really good fights outside, like it was just silly.
It was.
I like the concept of it, of like, I want to know why you're so strong or whatever. Fight these guys so I can test your limits. Oh, I also wanted what is love.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I
There's
don't know.
a tiny chocobo.
I don't know. Actually, I do really enjoy his story in the Omega series. It gets better explained at the end, like a lot of raids.
It gave us the kettle.
Yeah.
His crowning achievement, the kettle. He does suffer a little bit in his final fight in the raid, because the fancy version is in Savage.
Yeah.
And it kind of ends with the F and M.
Yeah.
Oh I forgot about that.
I don't like them. That doesn't bother me as much as the one with Eden.
Yeah. I mean, I think that one's a lot worse.
Yeah, Eden's worse.
I think it was a start of that, that's for sure.
Yeah.
No, I think he's also, at the end of the day, a robot learning to love, and he's from a lost cool space species.
I like when we
it's
learn
been
more
so
about
long.
the Omicrons.
Yeah.
It's been so long for its purpose.
I'm always a big fan of AI learns to be human as a storyline.
I like
but I can understand his plot being uninteresting.
Yeah, I never really loved
the storyline, and that's, I mean, we're not going to judge him based on the fights. We have to judge him based on
it's
the
just
storyline.
him as a villain.
I like his character though.
Yeah.
It's between a B and a C
interesting.
for me personally.
Yeah, I'm around the middle of the
Probably
board.
around the C mark for him.
I mean, he has a great theme.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that's true.
musically he's very good, and fight-wise they were good. But...
Iconic. Again, talking
And the
about
design
memes.
I like.
Oh god, the Larbord and Starboard.
Yeah.
You like that it's a reskin Toad?
No, don't.
I
tell me
love
that.
that.
Say
That's
that.
so cool that you can barely tell. It's only if you look at his face and the way it moves.
Yeah.
And I guess his legs too. But
It's
Also,
just
the
the
part that
weird-
when you do aggro, he tongues you into his vicinity.
Yeah.
No.
I
I
wish
just
they
think
kept
it's
that.
strange. I do think it's strange that he twitches like a toad.
I
don't
don't
know
like
if-
that. Why is that tied to the toad? Why do you have to force these animations? Can't you just calm him
It's-
down? Why do they all
it's-
have?
But you didn't know that upon looking at him.
No, most people will never know.
Yeah. The joke is that you just didn't know. So I think
It's a cool fact. I don't know.
See-
He can be with Alexander. And
C,
Diabolos for me.
he says
I'd
Georgi
say
Mela, C.
B.
B for Rolo.
I feel like I would it'll be C for me. I think
See, the thing
yeah.
that prevents me from ranking him high is I actually prefer Omega as a character after we. I don't know if I'd say befriend Omega,
Oh.
but like
Once he understands.
when
as well.
we're, yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
The story from it still adds to his villain part, I'd say.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not
To
disagreeing.
be honest
with
with you, he's
Part
he's
of it. I
similar
guess.
to Alexander in that he's incredibly neutral, but also Alexander has a slightly more nefarious plot than Omega, who just wants to create the ultimate warrior essentially
Right.
and just
yeah.
learn.
Yeah.
He's just a curious boy.
Oh, he did have that cool cutscene though. End of Heaven's Word.
Well, the Shinryu Omega fight is one of the best cutscenes I've ever
That's a
made.
cool cutscene. Yeah, they really
Right.
pushed the engine for that one. Now it's time. for
Okay.
Emet-Selch.
I mean-
I mean,
what is there
I
to
would-
say?
What is
Easy
it?
F,
I would be
right? Fuck this,
surprised.
no, I'm joking.
Yeah, there we go.
F for freak.
F for Emmett. Freak. S.
I mean, what? Yeah, what?
I mean,
what else can
He's a
we
masterful. It's masterfully
Yeah.
crafted villain.
He's so understandable in his motivations,
Yeah.
while also being likable and
Just-
even though because we do like him as a person.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Most
But
people
like,
do
you
at the
we have to
least.
stop him.
People gain a warm,
yeah, change the
like,
music.
friendly feeling for Emet-Selch throughout Shadowbringers, and at every step of the way, he basically tells you, "I don't like you. I'm your enemy. We're not friends." And you're like, "Oh, we can be friends. Yeah, we can
But
be friends."
put on an insatiable, Lucio.
Insatiable.
Oh, I was gonna say put on the Amarot theme.
Oh.
Put on the Nier Automata music from the raid for Waste of the World Prelude mix.
Okay.
Mm.
The fact that so many people like Emet-Selch, and throughout the expansion, you're like, maybe
Let's do
we'll
the
end up
dungeon
friends.
theme for Amarot.
Ah, yeah, my favorite
Okay.
song.
I mean, the thing about Emet-Selch is that like he's so people like him so much that like he is in the top 10 of like Final Fantasy characters of all time
Yeah,
across all Final Fantasy games
Yeah.
for people.
and his animations and everything about his like persona around.
Yeah.
They came so close to overusing him in Endwalker. So close.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
But they pulled it off.
They did, yeah.
yeah.
Well, See, that's such an interesting take because I know that a lot of people wanted more time in
No,
Elpis.
no.
I
You've got to be careful because when you
Yeah.
make something as perfect as Shadowbringers was, if you then are like, oh, well, everyone liked him, we'll do him all
Let's
through
give him
this.
just
it
yeah.
can
all-
very
I agree.
easily.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Like,
was very close.
It
We'll
would have
go
been
Zenos.
so easy to just bring him back almost permanently as
Yeah.
something, which is
Mhm.
how loved he was.
Mhm.
But they got it. They got,
Yeah, just
you know,
spot on.
just enough time to use him.
Yes.
Maybe a little bit too much at the end where he came back with the, comes back with, not Hermes. What's his face?
Hypnodeus.
Hypnodeus.
Oh,
Yeah,
Hypnodeus.
Almost a little bit too much there.
Mhm.
Like,
But he
1
managed
minute
to say
too much.
goodbye. They said goodbye and they did their
But
final
at least,
bit,
yeah,
and
at least
it's like
that was the end. You know?
Yeah.
It would have. I think it would have been unsatisfying if the last time we spoke to them they didn't remember.
That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
It was a beautiful moment, and right at the end, you know, you have got to the point where it's like, yeah, you guys are all right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
It says you
like-
suck. At the end.
he's.
Well, he-
I mean,
he
says,
respects you in a way.
he says he's happy for us to carry on our legacy,
Yeah.
his legacy. Just don't forget him. But like, even when he says his final goodbyes in Ultima Thule, he's like, I don't regret anything I did.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's so tragic. Like recreating his city and just being some sad loser at the bottom of the ocean with all his phantom
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
Like he's had a shit life. Like
Yeah.
he's the one you really feel the most for.
Yeah.
Now,
I think. Yeah.
I know in the personal story of him, he's kind of redeemed in some, or understandable from where he comes from. And at the end, he's like, "Oh, remember me," and all that. Number one murderer in this game.
True.
Oh yeah.
He gave
With
rise
all
to
the rejoin.
He gave rise to the two most violent empires on our planet.
Yeah.
So-
He has orchestrated the most amount of murder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
I hope when he went back to the live stream, he got to see the kill count, you know?
Yeah. Even
He's
at-
top of the leaderboard. He's
even
happy.
when he like made the Allegan Empire, he was like a scientist and he was doing some weird fucking
Yeah.
experiments
Yeah.
to
I mean,
people. So
Chad is bringing up something that I actually agree with. He would argue that the Nah is a murderer on the same scale as him.
I people always try to do that with
yeah.
Heidelin, like, oh, she sundered people against their will and killed them. No, I don't buy into that at all.
I mean, that's part of the moral dilemma of the expansion.
Yeah.
I don't agree with it, but I understand why people feel that way.
If anything, she made more life, because if she made one person equal 14 people,
Yeah, she made life.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but they
created
aren't the
life.
same person.
they're all individuals, which is beautiful.
That's not how it works. We don't
It's
like.
beautiful,
we
guys.
don't celebrate.
She created 13 worlds.
We don't.
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah.
celebrate.
So what a
We don't
beautiful woman.
necessarily celebrate people like parents that bring in 20 children into the world. Oh wow! Look at all the life made.
No,
It's-
no.
Wait.
She invented a new type of
do.
murder.
Wait.
where
We
one
don't
kill equals
celebrate
14 people.
We don't celebrate people that give birth to 20 children. We should. What a great achievement for
Yeah.
humanity. What the fuck?
She's mother. What the fuck,
She's
dude?
the mother of 20.
Jeez, mother.
What the fuck? She's been busy. Good lord. Good job.
Here, anyway.
Shout out to everyone with the 20 children.
Number one MILF. Never forget.
Number one MILF.
God.
What
Why is there a refractory period between babies? Like, is she popping them out
9
once
months?
a year? Yeah, but there's got to be a cooldown. She's not straight on it.
Cool. No, she's straight on.
Even so, though, that's like
We should
basically
get
20
back
years.
to Emmett.
Yeah, sorry. I
20
don't know
years by
where we are.
pregnancy.
Emet-Selch.
Emet-Selch is an S tier.
Yeah,
thing.
I mean, what did we
It's
pick?
yes, yeah.
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 Okay.
We only talked because we had to.
See, people
Vauthry.
are arguing that Bernard should be on this list. By the way,
Absolutely
I didn't
not.
include her.
She's not a villain.
No.
She is not a villain. Okay. Vauthry.
Oh, with his little
Good.
little breast tits,
He is good.
like face thing.
Yeah.
I love
Vauthry's-
Vauthry.
As horrible as he is, he's kind of tragic because he was destined to be a horrible thing. Emet-Selch essentially turned him into a light warden at birth.
Another
Yeah.
Emet-Selch victim.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But look how
One of
beautiful he was in the end.
Trillions.
He turned into a handsome man with wings,
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
and he was finally happy. I love his hairstyle in his fat form.
Yes, it's very it's hard to describe
Everything
it.
about him, his model, only brings me joy.
And he has like a disgusting like head. He has a head tit.
yeah, he has the head.
he
Look
does.
at where his necklace is.
I love
On
it.
his
Like it's
17th
so.
chin. Oh, he's
I
so
mean,
good.
I wish they didn't make his fatness like the gross part. But I love the little thing, like the light ward
Well, no,
inside him
it's-
being
Yeah.
gross.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that I don't think the expansion inherently was anti-fat. I mean, look at
Julia.
Julia Chai.
Yeah, Julia Chai was a big lady, and she was. They didn't like focus in on it; they just accentuated it. I think.
Yeah. But he was supposed to be like, I mean, he eats a lot of meal. Like, he eats a lot of, doesn't he eat, like, just straight up, no, he doesn't eat sin eaters. He's allied
those
with the
hot babes that he has around, he, like, chomps on them a bit.
Yeah.
I like his voice as well. I think he has a fantastic voice.
He has a great voice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good presence.
Very
good
He's
presence.
scary, and he's very volatile. He's one of those, like, dictates that you just can't predict. So
right.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's feel unnerved.
He's at the point where he thinks that he's right. He thinks that what he's doing is good.
Yeah.
He's a great villain.
Shout out to that one artist people talk about right now. That's #1 Vauthry stan. I love you and respect you for what you do.
Oh, they're doing Vauthry art?
They're just a Vauthry lover in general.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Shout out to you.
And I was like, no, what was Joe? Shout outs to you. I think that's what your name was.
Shout out.
Good on you.
Okay. Yeah. Also,
A.
Okay.
Oh, no, sorry. Yeah. Go, yeah.
so aggressive. A. All right. A for Vauthry for Georgi.
Yeah. Definitely A or B, but yeah, I think probably
Yeah, A. I think so. Yeah.
I think like the patheticness was fun as well. He's one of those ones that like his tiny little wings, everything about it.
The wings, I forgot.
He's the strongest example of like a pathetic villain in this game.
Yeah.
He's really well done for that.
Yeah, he gets like temper tantrums like when he's.
He always like fights back, but he's like a little whimper. Like he's very interesting.
Okay, A it is. Ranjit. Oh shit, it's Ranjit. What are
Ranjit villain?
Yeah, this is. I'm sorry. This is a shit
actual
villain.
pop-up villain because he literally. His backstory could have been interesting, and they'd like briefly go into it, but essentially he's just a horrible like woman kidnapper who just makes like a child grow up to be the new
child soldiers. Oh,
yeah, he's horrible.
Yeah.
Never forget.
Big boss, you're back.
Yeah. He loved them. He loved each of them, but because of the fact that he cared for them so much, that's why he put Irene in the prison. But like the game barely touches on that itself.
Yeah.
He's really boring. I really don't like him. I every time he showed up, it didn't feel like, oh shit, Ranjit's here. It was just, oh well, time for the plot to be not very interesting for a bit.
Yes, exactly. I think there are two things with Ranjit I like, and that's not because of him. The scene where his army gets destroyed by the Fae when they turn up in Ilmeg, I think is very funny. And also I like his fight with Thancred, but not because of him.
No, right.
Oh, that was
fair enough.
Really good as well, but didn't go in the direction we should have done.
Man, I wish some of the stuff from the online story was in the game. It would have.
I mean, you can
so
use
good.
it to add to him if you want to, but I still think he falls pretty low for me.
Villain-wise, he just feels like it doesn't really even feel like a villain. Just feels like
he almost occupies the same space as that one dude from Stormblood that kept coming. What's put on the power armor thing?
Grinwald.
Oh, Grinwald.
Yeah, he was in Doma.
Brian, yeah.
But like a bit more serious, you know?
Yeah.
The retarding of his expansion.
Well, the thing is, he's like, we fight him multiple times. He's like, to me, he's like Zenos at home.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Or Dollar Store.
They made Zenos do well during Stormland and thought, well, we can do it again.
Yeah.
Ranjit.
Okay, Ranjit. Where do we go?
E.
What did you say? D.
E.
I'm tempted to say E or F.
Yeah,
E.
I am eyeing the F right now because he feels like nothing.
I'd say D. He's a jobber. Jobber tier D.
Fucking jobbers.
Jobber is the
That's
word
what he
of the
is. I've always said jobber all the time.
F.
2 Fs. I'll go F. 2 Fs, 1 D, 1E.
E.
That's an
E.
That's an E then. That probably means we're not going to get an F today. Probably.
Well,
Maybe.
you never know.
I don't think so. All right, Elidibus.
He's I love Teledji Adeledji because he confused me.
So interesting.
Like when he was the diplomat and he was our friend and he was like, "Oh no, don't do that, Badassians. We've got to talk to these people." And it's like it was really interesting in a wrong one. The fact that he was the one in the white robe and it was different. It was like, oh, are there good Asians? I think it was really well done, and I think he ended up being very interesting.
And then you found out he's a little baby, and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
He was a little
With
bit
the
more
voice of a 76-year-old.
Yeah. Like, I don't think as a villain he was, like, insanely good. I feel like, he's a fairly one-dimensional Asian, ancient-type character, but he was cool. He had some interesting quirks.
I think he occupies the same thing as Lahabrea, where he was just...
Yeah.
They didn't know what Astians were or what they were doing. He had a bit more going on than him, but it wasn't until Shadowbringers where they, really decided what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
That's where he became excellent.
Yeah.
That's the thing. He was still relevant when he became, well, like, not to say Lahabrea wasn't relevant, but like he was still alive when he was fleshed out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They just threw him a little while.
And the thing that was keeping him tethered to our reality, and rather than just focusing entirely on the mission, is the fact that Emet-Selch was still there. Without Emet-Selch, like once Emet-Selch is gone, that's when he really starts to like lose his direction.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely another tragic one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not in the same
Zodiark.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is wild.
Definitely more on the tragic side. He's not as like, I'm definitely doing the right thing for sure as Emet-Selch. There's a bit more doubt. Especially in the end, where he's like, I just barely remember anything anymore. I'm so fucked up.
Yeah, he was quite sad. Was he the one who opened the portal to Elpis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
I feel like the interaction you have with him in the Crystal Tower is kind of sad.
That's the last of his ether. We thought he was... I feel like some of us at the time thought that meant that his ether was gone forever in the same manner as Vanar.
It did feel like that.
It ended up going to the ethereal sea.
Yeah.
Yes.
It did, but it did feel like that. And I was like, oh, he used the last of his own self to help us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I suppose doesn't count for his villain art, but it's nice. But he's up there. He's B, I think, on line with Lahabrea.
I think it's an A for me.
I wish there was more build up. Wish there was more build up to the greatness.
Yeah.
It's such like a rapid like,
it was like Elidibus being like, oh, what is he? And then nothing for a long time. And then Shadowbringers, and then we start, oh, and then just like, oh, whoa, you're not 70 years old, and you're a child, and all that happens so quickly.
I wish there was a bit more time to build up to that. Like at least I would have preferred the start of maybe the Shadowbringer patches,
I know, I'm joking.
Or maybe even somewhere in Shadowbringers, some kind of hint of that. It's just it's such a rapid transition.
Because remember, Elidibus is working alongside Varis because we're forgetting about the fact that he impersonated Zenos.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm
all right.
I wish he didn't do that instead. I wish he was doing something else. But not a jobber tier.
Shut up.
Ooh. It's an A.
Okay.
2 A's. Layla gave a B. It's up to
Actually,
you.
B. Never mind.
Oh, B.
Okay. 2 B's, 1 A.
Yeah.
That makes it easier for you. You control whether it's an A or a B. Or lower.
Because it takes so long to like. I wish. It almost feels like two people, because there's been such a long break between since.
Well, that's kind of what it is.
It is.
It's very apparent,
and the will of Zodiark at the end.
Yeah.
It's very apparent, and they did admit it that they pretty much started writing that stuff in the patches.
They have.
I
Yeah.
feel like it's more obvious with Elidibus than it was with Lahabrea that's happened. So I'll do which I still on the same tier, but I'll put him on B. B.
Okay.
Valens. Van Milkman.
Oh, he's such an interesting character to rank.
The sweatiest villain. Can we put him in S for that?
God. I love
because
my favorite part of this is all the people, and you know who you are, that were like fucking thirsting and like rubbing yourselves watching Varens do push-ups.
I didn't hear of this.
Yeah.
Did you not remember the thirst people had? People making like fucking fan art of him before they'd even seen him.
That he had, like,
because he was sweaty and shirtless, Rollo.
Yeah.
Before his okay, I thought you were talking about with the face. I was like,
no.
Don't you remember they showed his body before we saw his? There was a patch between where we didn't see anything.
The milk.
And the milk. And then the reveal of his face. Oh.
To be fair, you deserve that.
Yeah.
The shame you should feel.
You objectified
I
him.
appreciated what his body looked like. I think he was inherently too creepy, even at the start, for me to want to eroticize him.
Yeah, when I saw the milk carton, I thought, ew, he's got milk sweat. Was all I was thinking about.
He's sweating milk.
All he's drinking is milk. All his sweat is milk.
I thought the 3 children watching him work out was fucking weird.
That was also also that. Yeah.
This was before they got their modern sweat filter as well, so it was like the old just white sweat. It was disgusting.
Yeah.
I feel like Valens is like, what if Gaius was a freak instead?
Yeah.
Just a down, weird, freaky man.
And Valens, is bad. Like a through and through rotten human.
Guy.
I mean, Valens is like, what if we make someone totally irredeemable?
Yes.
Like, I don't even think it's like a love to hate thing. It's almost funny how bad it is. Like how bad he is. I should say.
Yeah. Burn out the bad.
It's so campy too with the burnout.
Yeah.
You love
crazy.
it.
He's actually crazy.
We saw him like kill an entire family essentially.
Yeah.
To test out the diamond weapon.
Yeah.
You know what? He's the Joker of 14. That's
very generous.
I can see that. I think he's crazy. Yeah. I mean, he got popped like a grape at the end.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Well, I think it was in an interview where they said that they had to make the sound effect more comical because otherwise it would have upped the age rating of the game.
That's so good.
Yeah. I mean, he is such a clear-cut villain. Like there is no justification for any of the shit he's doing. He's just crazy.
He just wants the power grab now that the Empire has fallen. He's like, well, I mean, I got the robots.
Can you imagine Garlemald under his rule? That would have been crazy.
Everyone will be sweating milk in his freaky empire.
I think the only thing that prevents me from putting him higher is that, one, his goals are a bit vanilla, despite the fact that the things he's doing to get there, and he's just like he's so over the top.
He's a very flamboyant villain, but I kind of like that with
armor with that nose.
Yeah.
Not in season. I'd say.
No.
I've even forgot in the Tataru quest line when they revealed that he got fucking people to plastic surgery themselves up to look like him.
Yeah. God.
At least he got his head popped off.
I mean, that is crazy shit. They went hard on him.
He is so solid from start to finish.
Yeah.
Easy B, I would say.
Hated from start to end.
That's for me as well. I think it's just the lack of depth that prevents me from putting him at A. I think he's a B.
There's not much backstory on him, is there?
What you see is what you get.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
What do you think, Mela?
I think just because he's very short-lived, I'd drop him down to a C, but he's around there.
That's fair.
Yeah, he is very short-lived. That is true. But he burns so like brightly.
Short-lived. He was there for the entire trial patch. What?
For a trial patch.
For the weapon.
For the
there's not a lot of story in those, though, is there? There's
no, it's mostly about Gaius, and then we see him being crazy.
You know? I think he was in there for the appropriate amount of time. He was supposed to be.
He played out his part, I will say that. And it actually, to me, feels like he lasted longer because the memories of him being so fucking crazy just burned into me. I can't believe it's the craziest cutscenes in the game, you know, that are not like Hildebrand is with him. Is like just being fucking evil, cartoony even. I'll say B. I like Valens and his milk sweat.
Yeah.
Okay. Now for the this is gonna this is
only controversial for Mela, but pretty much, I would say.
Yeah.
I fucking hate Meteion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we're Endwalker. Which song?
The Endstinger theme.
Okay. All right. So, Meteion. Where are we going here? Mela, just a disclaimer.
Meteion isn't a villain.
Right.
Endsinger is a villain.
Well,
Meteion isn't.
It's the same thing.
No.
They're like a collective hive mind too.
Yeah. Hermes is the real villain here. Meteion just does what she's ordered.
I mean, I would agree with you, which will prevent me from. What?
She's a jobber.
There's no way.
I really hate Meteion.
I think you're the one with a really big hate voter for her.
Yeah. I am.
I've not seen anyone else, even in like the community opinion, be this.
People like Meteion.
Yeah.
Meteion, which is I find very bizarre.
I mean, I don't
understand. Kind of very, very bland.
She's like a cool construct that had a goal to explore the cosmos and discover new life, and then just like Kirk, got really depressed when she actually got up there, or what's his face?
What a comparison!
Shatner. It's like Shatner. She went up to space, and she was like
Shatner.
And she was like, "Oh God."
Mr. B.
I was gonna say, I don't remember Captain Kirk being like disillusioned with space travel.
Oh my God.
Life of light on Earth behind me, and the death of darkness.
Bezos laughing in the background, like. It's
desperately
great.
Trying to go and party with the creatures. I love that so much.
Absurd.
Meteion suffers from no real fault of her own.
No. As a villain, strictly as a villain, she doesn't participate.
She does. I mean, she has agency.
She's not a villain.
She has agency. She does come to that conclusion.
It's part of her nature, and I guess you could say programming. I don't want to, she's still like a being, but
it's weird because like that's sort of how ancients perceive creations.
But she has agency, and she's come there on her own, probably with the help of Hermes' influence or personality went into her somehow, I would say, or as a part of her. But yeah, I think she does the job well. I think the idea is cool itself, literally going out to see space and other civilizations and coming back and being like, this, it's hopeless. It fucking sucks. It's better to end it all and stop the pain.
Yeah.
That's a real not relatable, but like that's
not relatable.
no, but it's a feeling that's very common for other reasons, and I think it's cool to explore that feeling in this way,
Right. Yeah.
I think, for me, she ends up being around C just because of the fact that, like, she's in this weird tier of, like, non-humans whose motivations aren't necessarily this relatable to us.
Yeah, I can see that. Like, kind of like Alexander, where it's like,
I think it makes sense. She's literally doing out of compassion what she thinks is compassion.
Right. Yeah. But like, I think we can make sense of it. I think you can. we can make sense of the motivations of everyone in the tier C. It's just like it's not how a human would react for the most part.
It's outside of the normal scope.
Yeah.
And essentially, most of what happens to her isn't her. The real villain isn't her. She's an innocent bystander.
Yeah.
And although she has some agency, she's sort of constructed to do that job anyway.
Remember, we're not ranking her.
She goes out there.
Like character.
She gets depressed. She gets depressed and then comes back with the most Tumblr emo response possible. Let's just all die.
Well, because her programming or whatever, we'll say that, is to just explore and report. She comes to the mercy killing conclusion herself. That is something that's of her own. Absolutely, does not fall in line.
True.
Yeah, so it's true. It feels very angsty, like teenage storyline to me.
I wouldn't even say, because mercy killings are something humans feel like as an appropriate thing to do.
Yeah, but we don't do it on such a grand scale.
It's more
grander scale.
You're thinking maybe more along the lines of an animal, like a dog that's injured to a point where it's not going to have a quality life. Rather than, eventually your civilization will be wiped out, so let's just do it today.
Yeah.
That's
which is a very childish, immature thing to do, which she is immature. But that doesn't, for me, make her a good villain.
Yeah, remember, her character is very interesting and complex, but how does that tie into, villain status?
I think it's in line with her character.
Come from someone else. I think her as an individual isn't very interesting.
I like her more as a character than as a villain. I see for myself.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Georgi C. Where are we going? Rollo, I feel like you're going up.
I'd say solid B.
Okay. Yeah. Mela. I know you're gonna go low. So.
E.
Wow. Okay. Oh, yeah. I think I'm more with Georgi on C from Tion.
I would average out to C.
That's a C, yeah.
That is a C. Okay. All right. There she be. Fandaniel.
Crazy separating it. This is hard enough to separate.
It's so difficult because he looks like Asahi.
Yes.
He does look like Asahi, but Fandaniel is he's insane in a way that Hermes
was not.
He's so much more
interesting than Asahi, but it's hard to get over the fact that he just has decided to look like him for some reason.
Yeah.
I think his origin story is interesting, as hanging out in the Allegan Empire and then being like, hey, it's you. Come with us and let's do some shit. And then he just becomes insane.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's definitely, I would say it's part of Hermes' narrative and his doubts that carry into him, because they're still, at least from what it seems like most times when your shard is still somewhat related to your mind space, I guess, or emotions or personality, at least a little bit from the original.
Yeah.
Yeah, your personality is influenced, but you're not the same person.
Yeah, but it carries on from. He exemplifies Hermes' doubts and hopelessness.
Yeah.
But
those parts of personality.
He views it more from a perspective of he's more the Joker.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. He's the one who cares the least.
Yeah.
He truly doesn't care about the planet anymore. Or anything really. He just wants to cause, destruction and sadness.
Yeah, he is Hermes' nihilism, but brought to a point of absolute destructiveness.
Yeah.
And he is responsible, also in tandem, for the out in the cold, really intense moments.
Yeah.
He was good in Endwalker.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of good moments.
I think he played his part well, and is a good, I guess, extension of Hermes' story.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's the better half of Hermes.
That's fair. I can see why some people would say that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's hard enough to consider them
You have to consider them together, but I don't like Hermes, even though he does what he does well, and I think he's an interesting background. But Fandaniel is a very good continuation of him.
Yeah. Okay.
Fandaniel at A, I think.
Okay.
I'm feeling A.
All right. Mela?
Yeah, why not?
You know what? Why not? Yeah.
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
Funny that he stole Zodiark from Zenos.
Yeah, that is funny.
He pulled one over him, which is like not something that happens to him really. So it is. Yeah. It's funny that the other Joker got to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Hermes, then where do we put him?
See, I like Hermes better than Fandaniel personally.
I do
not
too.
S tier, but I do really like Hermes.
A little blogger.
Yeah.
Always blogging away his thoughts and feelings. Probably journals. Such a little baby boy, but
it's a baby boy.
I mean, I just like he's such a sign of like what a world without therapists will lead to.
Yeah,
that's true.
Can you construct a therapist?
Well, they had no concept of what therapy was.
No.
I think he is one of the most tragic characters in
I agree.
14. It's so sad that he essentially does not have the words to describe the despair he feels.
Mm-hmm.
And he lives in a society that will never be able to empathize with him at all.
Right.
It's like it's like for people who have depression. Imagine if people with depression in our world just had no way of conceptualizing that or like conveying that to someone else.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a really, really good telling of a similar feeling people have in like real life too, of just like what seems like is the norm, but it seems like it should definitely not be the norm. Yeah. And it seems like you're crazy almost for thinking that. Like you think you're broken too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like what's wrong with you? Everyone else is like, look at everyone else. We live in a utopia.
Yes.
What do you have to complain about?
Yeah.
And that bringing him to the brinks of despair and leading to things like Fandaniel. And like I said, I think his personality, at least somewhat, was influenced into or a part of Meteion, you know? Like he didn't influence his will on them, but his personality is part of her.
Yeah. But that's not saying
again.
Villain.
Yeah, as a villain, other than Kairos and leading everyone up there?
I mean, I think all of what Rollo and I described is what causes him to be a villain.
Yeah.
It's very important.
His villain arc.
Is briefly as Kairos, but mostly as Fandaniel. As Hermes, he's just
he's the starting point of the entire, like,
you don't...
what is the ultimate threat.
I'm not pissing on your boy. I'm just trying to clarify.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Mela.
Oh.
Yeah, but I'm just, you gotta...
It's all connected. It's a part of it, for sure.
But that's all the
All
correct.
right, scores. We need to wrap up soon. Yeah.
I'd say A.
A.
B.
I'll do B, but it'll be an A. All right, next. Zodiark.
Oh, such an unfortunate...
Putting Zodiac on here feels weird.
Hate him.
See, that's the thing. See, that's the issue, though. Because Zodiark is presented so long threat, I had to include him. Because, like, he is, like, what we are working against from a realm reborn.
Yeah.
Until the point where we fought him, I would have put Zodiark as, like, the top of the board, or close to, because it was this massive...
threat level, extreme.
Threat, like, maximum threat
level.
Yeah.
And quite abstract, the unknown about him. It was crazy, and he's been split into he was.
But then the story starts to unravel, and we learn that he was never completed.
And you kill him in one go.
Just a shart on the.
Doesn't even have a will, though. No. I would say he definitely is just a tool. Yeah. It's hard to rate him on that.
It was a disappointment.
I understand that he was not that at first, but that is what he is now.
Yeah.
Absolutely, which is sort of why I just felt like we needed to include him, just because, like,
his background,
what he represents is so much more than what it is in the
Yeah,
end.
think about what his involvement was in the end of the world for the ancients.
Yeah.
Because he was pretty big in that.
Well, to them, he was a hero.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, to half of them. But then
Yeah.
some of them were like, well, that's not right.
If anything, I feel like he should have been on the primal list instead, because he.
Well, maybe
I mean,
he'll
he
make
probably
an
will
appearance
be.
I
there
think
as
he'll be
well.
on there too.
Yeah,
He gets to appear twice.
I don't know where I would even put him on here in relation to everyone else and how we're kind of talking and ranking
I
them.
think
You know,
his villain arc. Well, he does. I mean, he is the bad guy. Like from A Realm
Yeah.
Reborn, we're taught that Zodiark is the looming
Just
evil.
because he's not he's not involved like directly, you don't confront him. He is the major villain for the whole arc
so
we've been in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so difficult to comprehend because for us, for the so long of much of the game, we perceived Hydaelyn, who we know is sentient, to him to be the anti-Hydaelyn.
Yeah. So in that, he was a very, he was a big, scary threat. He just ended up not being as good.
yeah. I mean,
But
I don't know. 'Cause
I would put him around the same area we've put these other weird things. So like, or maybe a little below, so like C or D.
See, I would put him in D.
I am
'Cause
like
I
tempted
just
to
think-
E. Even.
Oh, really?
I'll even
Okay.
go lower if I could. I can. I
You
can't go
can.
F,
You can. You can go as slow as...
but I won't allow myself to go to F.
That's fine. I would put him at D. I think it's such an unfortunate end to what what is presented as so world-threatening.
Yeah.
I mean, I
So-
guess D. Like, I wouldn't. Again,
D, D,
Mm.
Mega Doo-Doo. Okay. D.
What did you say, Mela?
Mela?
C?
D, yeah.
Yeah, so D then. I'll
Okay,
go
so
with
they're average to D. Yep, okay.
Yeah. Golbez.
I like him.
A waste of time.
Boring.
I think the
I
only
wouldn't watch that
villain
cycle.
I would say who was here too long.
Mm,
Most villains, I would say, like, oh, I wouldn't mind seeing them a bit more if they would have been fleshed out. I'm like, you were around a little too long, along with the Void storyline.
Yeah, for me,
Yeah. I
agree
Golbez
with
represents lost storyline when we could have been doing something actually related
Yeah.
to moving
I
towards
kind of agree
Thrall,
with that.
but instead we
This-
were doing our little fantasy beach arc where we went to the moon for some reason in the
Yeah.
void.
Should have been 3 patches.
Yeah.
That would have been. I think if it was 3 patches, it would have been good.
It would have been alright.
Yeah.
I still
better.
like him. I still think he's good. It's just, it literally just ran on too long.
I don't like the
Yeah.
fact that it was basically just for plot as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
no.
Well,
what?
it was no. It
It was
had
well, it was
voids.
very like it was
But
just
it
like
was-
copy and paste
it
like
had-
the 4 lords or the 4 fiends.
We talked about this. It is
Golbez,
a
Moon.
4,
it was just 4.
fan
was
service
like an ode to
story
4.
patch. It is a lot of
Yeah.
4 fan service in that.
They slightly made it towards the end when we actually flew there with Reaper to get Ashdaya back, but
Yeah.
more or less it was just an ode to 4.
But at the end of that story, I was so done. I was so
Oh, yeah.
people keep saying that they think this was originally a trial story. I mean, and rather than MSQ. I don't think that's true because I think the implications of it are too important to be left to be made optional.
Yeah, we
But
got
I do
Ashdaya
agree.
back.
And also the fact that like we have shard travel at least to the
also,
void.
yeah, true.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. Like
Yeah.
I think there are too many important things, even though I agree that it feels
Yeah.
like it should have been a side plot.
I think I wouldn't
Yeah,
have
it
hated
feels.
it as
It
much
has the
if
quality
it
of
was
a
I-
side story.
a trial series.
I
Yes.
still think if we were new players and did it all at once, would have been fine.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
We just
Maybe.
instead of waiting almost a year, right? Of that.
Basically, yeah.
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 It just doing it all at once, sure. You might be like, oh, the quests are
The
long,
lost
but
year.
yeah.
Yeah.
New players have better experience with Golbez, I would
They
say.
do.
Yeah.
I mean, new
Not
players have a
hard.
better experience with the Realm Reborn patch cycle as well. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
New players have the best
Um,
experience of the whole game, probably.
Yeah.
I see. The thing is, he's kind of like Emet-Selch, but way less interesting.
Oh yeah.
So I'm just going to say in a D.
Okay.
I'm between a D and an E, but I think I'd probably land on the D just because,
when you land on the D.
I think it would be a bit harsh to go lower. Just
Yeah.
His plot line's decent enough, but it's just I don't like it.
Removing myself again from like, oh, I've been doing this for a while kind of thing. The tiredness of that. I do like what he was doing as a villain. I think I think the motivations are cool. What he does in the story is pretty cool. The Zeromus and Ashdaya, all that stuff. It's good.
Yeah.
It really, it's quality. It's quality writing, and he does it well. I'd put that a B.
A B.
Oh wow.
Interesting. Okay.
Also because he's Zenos Shard, of course, confirmed.
I'm not
C. True, actually.
I'm gonna D.
So B, C, D.
That averages out to a C.
All right, Athena.
I love Athena.
Oh my God.
I like Athena. She said it's scary.
She's just she's a horrible. She is Valens, but like more threatening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's hard to read, which is just insane.
Now, I want you to imagine, guys, having a terrible mom. That's your personal villain. And they put her in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine if your mom never loved you properly.
But she pretends she does. Like, that's the thing. Like, Erechthonios grew up thinking that, like, Athena loved him way more than Lahabrea ever did. When it's the other way around.
Yeah, I think people always say too she's really kind of, I would say, one note or like too straightforward, but I really do think her feelings for Erechthonios or the lack thereof, it's definitely
that's terrifying.
Yeah,
she's actually a sociopath.
Yeah, like viewing your child as a tool is like it takes a lot to depersonalize that, you know?
The only question I have is whether she ever truly loved Hephaestus / Lahabrea, because that we never really get how she feels about him, other than the fact that ultimately he's in.
Yeah.
Maybe in the early days, and then she slowly got absorbed in her research.
It feels like
she does manipulate him.
It feels like she only loved herself, or like.
But that was only after the Heart of Sabik stuff, right?
Yeah. See, that's the question. Like, how much of it was that?
I think there used to be compassion there, or or in partnership. But by the time she had Erechthonios, and the Heart of Sabik stuff, like, it was over for her in there. She is beyond humankind or whatever.
Regardless of which one it is, I still really like her. I actually think both motivations are very impactful and interesting.
I mean, she knows what she wants, but she makes a crazy plot to get it.
Yeah.
I do like to think, at least somewhat, when it comes to the Heart of, or even when she goes a little kooky and power hungry, becoming a god kind of thing, there was that inkling of thoughts and feelings inside of her before, but it's brought to the forefront and consumes her mind essentially later on. Also, I think very engaging.
She does become a moth though, which is disgusting.
She becomes a moth.
That's good. A villain you don't like is even better, Mela.
Yeah. And of course the iconic face she makes.
The stare.
Yeah.
The white woman jump scare.
Yeah. Okay, so where would
it's a shame we don't get to explore her a bit more, maybe. I think she has a lot of interesting backstory that would be nice to go into a bit more.
Yeah.
I'd say B.
I think
played her part well.
I'd say A.
Okay. 1A, 1B.
I'll go with Georgie. I think A.
Okay, 2 A's.
Okay, 2 A's, 1 B.
Yeah. I like what she do.
I don't know if. I mean, no matter what I said, unless I'm not going to go lower than B, so it'll be an A. I'll say B just for the record. I feel like
because I know she's not deep, but I think she's the peak of the like.
She's a well-designed, insane woman.
She's the peak of the absolutely horrible person to become a villain in this game, at least.
Yeah. Okay.
It would be
our
nice
list.
if she got released into the
Wow.
real world and just went insane.
See,
with it.
I do think there would have been people on F tier, but those were because like there are many characters that we could have included, but we had to focus on like the main ones. We couldn't.
I
have
think
just
we
made-
essentially just vetoed each other too often for there to be an F.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
too
but, like,
afraid
there
of
are-
going into the F territory, which is
There are
fair.
characters like Laurentius that I know
Oh,
that we could have included.
yeah, that's true.
Some of the ones you've put here, like Red Girl.
Yeah, Red Girl would have been an
Koryu.
F problem for maybe every one of us, except
Yeah.
maybe
Where-
Willow. I don't know.
Where will we
Koryu
put?
would have been an F
Yeah, I think they've just
Uh,
like included a lot of the Fs because they're not like that villainous.
because there's not enough to discuss about them. That's the
Yeah.
problem. They're
Yeah.
boring.
Oh, I think you could have put Edda on here. Now I think about it too.
Edda was one I considered.
Oh, yeah, that's
Edda's
true.
could have been. She's just a tragic.
Hydrus should have been on here for sure, though. So where will we put
Hydrus.
Hydrus?
Hydrus. I mean, regular Von Hydrus should have. I think Von is. I can't remember what his title is, but regular should have been on.
right there.
I agree.
Yeah.
I would put
Metron
him.
was on the list as well, but the problem with Metron for me was that Metron essentially only appears for the very end of that storyline.
Right. Well, let's do regular. Let's just pretend that we have him here. Where would we put him? I would be E or F. I would.
Really?
I really hate him.
I would have put.
Are you really a big
put,
hater?
I put him at C or D.
No, he's too
Could be a
too
D.
short. Not
We
as in
hate
height.
short kings here.
No, no,
if
no.
you're short, Kill said fuck you.
He's too short-lived in the story.
I liked when he joined us, but then again, that's not his.
He looks like
villain
an
part, I
ant.
suppose.
You know what he does? I've always thought of that. He's like kind of like an ant dude, you know?
Yeah.
But blue.
I like it.
I'd put him in jobber tier, so D.
Yeah.
Okay.
D.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
So he
I
would-
would put him at. I'd say C, but I think he's still average.
He would average out
Yeah.
a D.
There are some of the other ones that I think chat wants us to respond to. Missia.
Oh, she would have been so good. She should have been on here
Oh.
for sure. Fuck.
Nah, she was annoying.
Maybe we need to come back to this to
Annoying.
add more.
Misija.
I would have put her in A for sure. I thought that's
No.
her story.
That's fair.
Her storyline was really, really good, and her role in Bosja was. What? Oh, you don't like that, Mail? What the fuck?
No, I just don't.
Okay,
like
well,
Misija,
what
so
I'm-
I've
what
not
I'm-
thought about her enough.
What I'm reading from this is that maybe there needs to be a villains part 2.
Maybe.
Mhm.
Maybe we should take all the other ones
the
that
the
are
cleanup.
Not, yeah,
The
Oh,
other
right.
ones. Well, then,
the
okay.
ones that are not.
There
on
are some
this
more
list.
that I would add to that. Then,
Yeah.
to be honest,
the
that I just
jobbers.
didn't even include.
More
The jobbers,
please.
more jobbers, please. Let's fill out that
We
F.
put
Yeah,
all the
like-
good ones on this week,
I-
so next time we'll do all the shit ones, the F tier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I mean, when I'm making the list, I did take out a lot of the jobbers, like retard.
Yeah.
But
Well,
he's back, baby.
now it's their time to shine
Now-
next time.
Everything next tier will be below F.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
jobbers. Just
All
imagine
of
that the next tier.
sidekick characters.
God. All right. That's it then. That's our part 1 of our villains ranking. More to come.
As you can see here, we're Ilberd and Emet-Selch lovers. And Zenos
Ilberd?
lovers. Sorry, Ilberd. We're all
Inbred.
Ilberd, aren't we?
Oh, that's right. Hell yeah, brother.
Emmett Milk,
Emmett
and
What?
Zero
Yeah.
Nos,
Yeah.
Zero Gnosis. Yeah, we love them all.
I think our A rank and S rank is pretty solid. I think that's pretty.
I think
Yeah,
so.
yeah,
I
yeah.
agree with that more or less.
Maybe we. No, I think we're.
I
Technically,
think I'm happy with this for the most part. I mean, some of the ones that I really don't like,
if I was going to be extra harsh, I maybe would have put Ysale down on F because she hardly is a villain. But
That
you
is
know.
fair, to be
but
honest
then,
with
like,
you.
I think once we get some of these jobbers in here, I think,
Mhm.
as Rollo would say, I think
Yeah, a
that
few
like
jobbers in it, but-
Ysale will feel more appropriate at E.
yeah,
Yeah. There's always a chance she moves.
I still think Lolorito's F, absolutely F for me.
Uh,
Doo-doo man, hate him,
I mean, too bad.
yeah.
hate his story.
Yeah.
You know what? In the comments on Speaker's Place, you let us know your feelings on Lolorito and Nanorito.
And let us know if there's any villains that you wanted us to review that we didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
I
the
will
com-
say I specifically avoided any like job quest NPCs.
Yeah, that's too much.
Oh yeah.
Well, now you can have them.
So many. No,
Now-
because then
Oh my
like
God.
even if we just add some of the ones that I have here, that's gonna be so
Part
many.
2's gonna be
Robert.
8 hours. Let's go.
Infinite content. Yeah!
If you disagree with any of our rankings, don't tell us.
No, please tell us.
Only
Please-
positive comments. I'm very
But if you
sensitive.
agree, yes, say so.
Please engage with this content on YouTube.
Yeah, please. Okay, well that's gonna be it then, folks. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. We'll be back
Bye.
tomorrow.
Bye.
Goodbye.
I have to end the stream. Bye.
Yeah, you do.